Coming out the gate with the heat. Everybody's playing in the street. We got the summertime magic in this beat. Sun is in my eye, feeling high. Only good vibes, I'm alive. And if you see me driving by, don't be shy. I'm so excited. You know just what I wanna do. I'm glowing on up, I'm glowing on up, I'm glowing on up. I'm glowing on up, I'm glowing on up, I'm glowing on up.
to NOLA. Trope up, blow up, slow up, show up, get real, choke up. You're flowing, you're glowing. Astral samosa, you're landing on Europa. Your horns blowing, you're chosen. All the deep cuts you know. I got the pre-glow and the post-glow. Inspiration knows no boundaries where it flows. Your fingertips to the globes tilt to the universe on stilts. Hold on and chill.
I'm so excited. You know just what I wanna do. I'm glowing on up, I'm glowing on up, I'm glowing on up. I'm glowing on up, I'm glowing on up, I'm glowing on up. Don't it feel like summer? I'm glowing on up, I'm glowing on up, I'm glowing on up. I'm glowing on up, I'm glowing on up, I'm glowing on up. I'm glowing on up, I'm glowing on up, I'm glowing on up. Don't it feel like summer? I'm glowing on up, I'm glowing on up, I'm glowing on up. today's the first day. Wanna be closer to you. Closer to you, yeah. You to be all mine. I got all these choices, but I so made up my mind, yeah. There's nobody better, gotta be you. A thousand voices, 'cause it's so good to be alive, yeah. There's nobody better, so it's gotta be you. These myths are busted, the grass is greener on my side. It's done and dusted, I'm never getting off this ride. 'Cause life with you is golden, so how can I go back to silver love? I'll be holding on, can't get enough. Wanna be closer to you. Closer to you, yeah. You to be all mine. Oh, yeah. Got all these choices, yeah. But I so made up my mind. There's nobody better. Gotta be you. Got to be you. Voices, yeah. 'Cause it's so good to be alive, yeah. There's nobody better, so it's gotta be you. You, yeah. You, yeah. You, it's gotta be you. 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 Yeah. Gotta be you. Oh, it's gotta be you. Yeah. These choices, but I so made up my mind. Nobody better, gotta be you. Thousand voices, 'cause it's so good to be alive, yeah. There's nobody better, so it's gotta be you. Hey. Nobody else, no. It's gotta be you.
I want music, good music playing and dancing to the groove, and I want to sing at the top of my lungs. The evening has just begun. Hips are swinging and feet are stomping.
Happy people gather round.
We will party all night long. This will be
Oh, magic.
magic night to remember. A joyful celebration for a drives me insane. She's heavenly creation, the spirit of the hot summer day, controlled by her emotion. Tomorrow seems too far away. Now I've got my shot. I'm meeting my soulmate. Lady, can you see me? You're my everything. You're my lady. Lady, can you feel me? I fell head over heels. You're my lady, lady. Maybe you can't hear me, my sweet little thing, my sweet lady. Lady, can you see me? You are my everything. You're my lady, lady. Some might think I'm crazy. You're my constellation. My vision's far from hazy. I need no confirmation. Take my heart and don't let it stray. True love and affection will come again another day, as the sight of your light always takes my breath away. Lady, can you see me? You're my haven't found the one. I never knew what others do. I hope and yet again, what do I know then? I believe it's all meant to be. All my dreams are so out of reach. I fool around, but we never know. I fell in love, but a long time ago. I sing the same old song, been going on for far too long. I hope and yet again, what do I know then? I believe we're all
Good morning. Welcome into Dream League Division 2 as we get into our final day here in the group stage. My name is Beowulf. We got Rojo right over there. And Rojo, we're starting with Kalmychata. We're starting with Team Public. And this is a matchup with two teams a little bit towards the bottom of the table, where this is something that the Public has to win. Public, they want to have any shot. They have to win this. And the fun thing about that, Rojo, is it's going to force tiebreakers if Public wins in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and I mean, for Team Public, this is an this is a funny matchup because they actually have the same amount of wins as Kalmychata. Every series that they've gone to has basically been a 1-2. I believe they were 2-0 a singular time there, but for the most part, it's been across the board. They've just been losing in these 3-game series, which, speaking from personal experience, has happened to me before, and it is probably one of the worst feelings of the way to lose, because you know that you're doing something right, but you can't hold on to it. It's not tangible. It just kind of keeps slipping out of you, as we will take a look at the standings here. Very important, as again, the tiebreakers will be coming out today if we have just a few series going the right way. This is one of them, if Team Public do win in any way, shape, or form. Peru Hands-On, I believe, as well, have a chance to do so. So we're hoping that it heats up a little bit. I am hoping that Team Public heats up a little bit. As again, the way that they've been losing, I think, have been some very, very frustrating ways for a new roster to lose, because they have beaten Team Tidebound. They have beaten these rather strong stacks, but only once in these games. And so not able to secure that victory has meant that even if, you or I expected maybe slightly more out of the stack, just in terms of being, maybe at least middle of the pack, they've just somehow ended at that very bottom through losing those kind of third games, which again, maybe is still indicative of where they are currently in the tournament, but is just a very unfortunate place to end up mentally.
Yeah, it's kind of, you look at this. The funny thing about Dream League, or at least the games that we've covered, I can't speak to every single game that's been played in this group stage because, Rojo, there have been a lot of games. But it feels like whoever wins game one stomps game one, and then they get stomped in the next two games. So if you're a Team Public fan, you're almost hoping that you lose first, so then you can have the momentum to go for the 2-1. I don't know if that's happening everywhere, but I can tell you that has been the story in literally every single game that we've cast in the group stage, Rojo. Yeah,
there's just this group stage has been pretty crazy, and I mean, across the board it is just very close between a lot of these teams. So I do actually expect this series to be very close as Kalmychata. I think in the first couple of days it did kind of seem like they had, at least kind of in the middle of the days, they were actually one of the only teams that were able to, I think they were the only team that were able to bring down Most Wanted, who have really, really looked good so far. So Kalmychata, I think they have a lot of promise as well. But they're a stack that has definitely a lot more consistent roster experience than this Team Public roster. Obviously, the players on Team Public we know and we love, but as in terms of playing together, it is very new. They essentially have gotten together for this tournament. And of course, they have had their showings, but they just haven't been able to bring it all the way home. And maybe in a series like this, Kalmychata is just a tiny bit more comfortable doing that, as they've been playing a lot of Dota, Bayo. That we know across all these qualifiers. It's been a pretty significant amount.
Yeah, that has been one of the really nice things about this kind of, in years past, we had roster mania, and now we have qualifier mania. All these opportunities for these tier 2 teams to go in and just play a lot of games against teams of their caliber, teams far lower caliber than them, but also the tier 1 teams, these teams that you generally would not get the chance to play against all that much. And it's just, it gives you this opportunity to grind. It gives you this opportunity to gel, figure out what's good for your team, what's not good for your team, how exactly this version of Kalmychata wants to play. And you're right, on the other side, Public not quite having nearly as much, although GZ's profile picture is a piece of bread with a gun. And that that's got to have something going for itself. I think more generally, though, this is the Puppy team, and you do expect Puppy to be able to kind of take the amorphous blobs of a couple different players and be able to figure out what works well for that team. You would expect fairly quickly.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that, you know, he is working towards it, and they've done. I mean, honestly, it is quite impressive what they've already managed to with the short time this roster has been together and how long they actually have been scrimming. But I think a lot of this is, you know, fun for Puppy. He wanted, you know, I think he wanted to do this as like a fun little project, and I'm hoping that they are able to be having that experience. And of course, I mean, they're still not completely out of the woods yet. Kalmychata is a very, very reachable opponent. Certainly for Team Public, maybe the perfect match in some ways, as again, both these teams, they have the same amount of wins. So in theory, they're really just the same. It's just Kalmychata has ended up actually finishing out to those series as opposed to Team Public, who just haven't been able to get there. So it's going to be just a question of, can Team Public take it across the finish line? Because if they need to show up at any point in time, this is the series to do so for them.
That it is. They win, they just move on. They're into the playoffs. Public has nothing they can do. If they lose, though, again, we are guaranteed those tiebreakers. Pareto Panzan also, if you're looking for the infinite tiebreaker idea, you're really rooting for Pareto Panzan. You're really rooting against Team T in this next setup, because that would put them down to 4-3. That would give them a tiebreaker. Actually, might just tiebreaker them with Espoiled, now that I look at it. There was a world where there's a lot of interesting tiebreakers. So a couple teams you're rooting for. Moving on as we get closer and closer to this draft. Rojo, when we take a look at these two teams, you know, Kalmychata, Team Public, there are some heroes that, you know, we're going to see contested pretty much every single game. The Slardars, the Pangoliers a little bit. But are there any heroes that come to mind with Kalmychata and Team Public that we should be extra paying attention to?
I mean, definitely with Rare Gods, I think you're paying attention to his hero pool, as he's kind of one of the more infamous ones for Kalmychata. Particularly his Bounty Hunter is one that I'm expecting to be addressed. Bounty Hunter coming up pretty heavily in the meta this year has also been incredibly strong. As we've kind of seen, you know, this new style of Bounty Hunter crit just being, I mean, maybe not even just new, just people realizing the potency of the hero. And Rare Gods, he's been bumping it since day one. He's been playing this before crit was. I wouldn't even be surprised if in some ways crit even got a little bit of inspiration from him. He just loves this hero. And so it seemed to always go out against him. Of course, as you said, we're going to see our mainstay is Timbersaw, I think a very huge one to prevent Team Public from getting from it. Xantic is a very good Timbersaw. Mangekyo is a very good Timbersaw. But in terms of Team Public, I think for Kalmychata, if you've seen the way these games have gone, you probably do want, you know, maybe some more cut and dry games. Particularly, I think you want to make sure that you don't get broodmothered by Mangekyo, as that's been a little bit of success for them on the side of Team Public. Some of their wins have been coming out of these more kind of interesting offlane heroes. Mangekyo, he's quite good at these enigmas. He's quite good at broodmothers and the likes. And I think potentially winning through the safe lane against Kalmychata is occasionally kind of a decent idea. I think they're not. I mean, they are strong lane players, but I think occasionally Kalmychata in the lanes can kind of fall behind. And so having just this kind of cheesy offlaner, I think could be a little bit worrisome. I believe even Team Public has been getting pretty frequently this primal banned against them. So some very fun things to watch. Maybe, you know, Team Public. I know Shad. I think personally some of the heroes I've liked most from him have been like the Pudge and the Abaddon. I don't know if those are heroes worth addressing, as he obviously has a deep enough hero pool to get past those. But definitely, I think maybe the Abaddon. So it's some fun stuff from Team Public. I think Kalmychata, I believe that they do have a difference as well today. So when you're looking at his mid hero pool, it's mostly a lot. I think honestly the mid matchup I think is interesting because it's not that interesting in terms of hero pool. Both these players I think play relatively normal heroes, but in terms of the gameplay, I think it will be super spicy, as I believe both these players really do love to go all out. So I'm expecting them to be playing like just a very normal matchup, but you're going to see one of these really brawly, kind of blood to the, you know, down to the bone kind of mid matchups that are really exciting to watch in those kind of like 1v1 styles.
Yeah, you know, speaking of cheesy lane matchups and finding ways to find advantages, where are we on Huskar? Because this is a hero that traditionally again, we got last picked Huskar. That sucks. We got to find some way to deal with it. But recently, in the series on Wednesday that we cast with 4 Pirates, that was a first pick Huskar. And while it didn't win, it felt like it had opportunities to win. It didn't feel like it lost because it was counterpicked. It just felt like it lost because they didn't play the matchups as well as they could have. And it's being played in every single role. So yeah, Rojo, where are we on this Huskar hero?
Huskar definitely, I mean, me personally, I'm on that this hero is completely busted. I think you can first pick it very, very reasonably. So maybe that is one to address. I don't think either of these teams do take it into every role. I think Kalmychata, I think they have definitely I think they have some players who would be willing to play it in some weird roles. Maybe Rare Gods has been practicing it himself in that position for Huskar for picking it early in the draft. But I don't ever remember being pegged too much as a Huskar player by difference. It does fit his playstyle. I just don't know if he plays it. I don't believe Xantic is too much of a Huskar player. I think he usually goes towards more like kind of stock standard mids. Maybe like the Necrophos is one that he would get cheesy with, but I don't remember him being too much of a Huskar. I know Puppy, I don't think he's one to bring out the position 5 Huskar. So I don't think the Team Public is actually the most likely team to bring out the Huskar. Maybe for them, that means that they want to get rid of it, just to kind of avoid that very, very nasty potential that the hero can bring to a draft, as we are just about to head into one. But yeah, Team Public, I don't think their likelihood of a Huskar is extremely high. Maybe Shad has been playing on the position 1. I think that's a very fitting hero of his style. But otherwise, I'm not at least pegged by most of these players that they would be huge Huskar players. Maybe Mangekyu does, because again, he does like those cheesy heroes. But unfortunately, that's just not something that I'm aware of.
Yeah, and it's funny when we talk about Huskar played in all 5 roles. When we see Huskar support, which is obviously a rarity, and don't do it in pubs, you will get flamed. It's not worth it. But I do feel like I like it in the 4 instead of the 5. You get a little bit more farm priority. That silence tends to be really nice into the position 5 that you're landing against. You can just bully them out of there. For now, though, the draft is ready to go. We're getting Chen removed, Beastmaster gone. Puck first phase ban from Team Public, which makes a lot of sense. Difference is Puck is very, very good. But it does also mean now, Rojo, that we're seeing Puck banned at first phase, that there is a little bit of room that one of these mainstay bans is not necessarily going to be there as much.
Yeah, one thing that's slightly unfortunate is that maybe for the side of Kalmychata, you don't want Team Public to get Abaddon too bad, but you'd also, I think, really prefer they don't get Jakiro. Really prefer that they don't get Timbersaw, so probably you just need to get rid of Timbersaw Jakiro here, unless you're really fair, or unless you're really fond of playing into one of them. I would say that I'm certainly not. As the Timber ban is, I think, definitely a necessity. Team Public, at least on this first pick, they have a little bit more leeway, but they do leave the Jakiro open for the side of Team Public if they want it. Get rid of the Lycan instead. Mangekyu's Lycan is very strong, and clearly Kalmychata is not very fond of the cheese coming out, as instead of picking up the Jakiro, they go for the Marcy right away. Shad is very, very good at this hero, particularly on the 1, and I'm sure they can flex this into many roles. So I don't mind the Marcy. I think Marcy is incredibly strong, but for me, sometimes Jakiro is just a little bit more straightforward. But that does mean, as well, they didn't address the elephant in the room, or the invisible elephant that we're not quite sure is in the room or not. And that's Rare God's Bounty Hunter. He loves this hero, and it pretty much gets banned against him every game, even when this hero was not popular at all.
10 seconds remaining.
It's kind of funny because Bounty Hunter is one of these heroes that is not always broken, sometimes very bad, but always conceptually broken. This ability to go and, especially now with the damage amp, it's always really nice, but the ability to create gold out of thin air, whether that's an alchemist, whether that's a bounty hunter, whether that is even theoretically Nature's Prophet, right, with the trees, if the numbers go over even just a little bit, all of a sudden it's going to get played every single game, because it just gives you this opportunity to itemize against whatever problems that might otherwise exist in the draft. So makes sense. Bounty Hunter. Also, some other 4s have kind of been banned out, but or a bit like fallen in priority. But it does beg the question now: is okay? Well, there's the answer. I'm like, are we going to see anyone second phase the Jakiro? But Public, they just get rid of it.
Yeah, definitely fair, I think. This is the trade they end up getting for themselves on the Marcy. Ban out the Broodmother and pick up the Pangolier. So, kind of interesting as well, Pangolier making it through. So, there's been some pretty high-value heroes, as Kalmychata did want to get rid of. Again, they want to get rid of a lot of those cheesy heroes, particularly the Mangekyu ones, as they put a pretty big focus onto him. He still does have
10
some of the heroes
seconds
left. I think
remaining.
even already it's looking like a pretty decent Enigma game. If Mangekyo did want to
5
go a route
seconds
like that,
remaining.
but you're very happy on Kalmychata to have this lineup as Pango Bounty Hunter. A lot of people, I think, if you heard that, maybe some patches ago, you'd think that's a pretty weak off lane, but I'm not really these days. They have very strong nukes together, and this double jump facet has just been, it truly is just kind of ridiculous on Pangolier. Even a lot of mid laners are kind of switching away from Thunderbolt and still opting to max, or at least get 3 points in the shield crash, because you just get so much survivability. So I think Pangolier is really, really consistent, very, very strong. I'm sure Kalmychata are super happy to pick it up. And the question for Team Public, again, is how can you punish these kind of heroes? I think Abaddon maybe is a slightly easier one into Bounty Hunter if they still wanted to get that for Shad. They could leave it open for something like a Terror Blade, as the damage between these two heroes is a little bit weaker if you have that pretty high armor. Still Enchantress and things for Puppy, so they have some pretty good options, I think, to fall back onto, but Kalmychata got a very solid kind of set of two heroes for themselves here.
They did, and the nice thing as well is that these are not pubs that we're dealing with. This is professional play, which means the Bounty Hunter is going to play heavy shuriken, is going to go and not just try to like max Janata and try to click the enemy safe laner every so often. And actually, when you max shuriken toss and have that damage, you're talking about the nuke, it's very significant damage. It will be a response of the Ringmaster from Team Public, which makes sense. They banned out Shadow Demon first phase. That's kind of where it felt like Ringmaster was coming in anyways. It's a save for the Bach, or it's a save for the Pangolier, or a save against the Pangolier.
10 seconds remaining.
I don't know though,
it's
Rojo.
fine.
I'm not a big.
5 seconds remaining.
I'm not the biggest Ringmaster fan, to be honest, right now.
Yeah, I like Ringmaster. I mean, I do think it is one of GZ's better heroes, but I can definitely see how it's not exactly, it doesn't inspire the most confidence as Ringmaster Clockwork. I think this looks fine for Team Public. This gives them a lot of playmaking between all their players, but maybe there's some awkwardness, especially if any of these heroes get gone on by Pangolier. They don't have much to do with it. Neither of these heroes really like getting tracked, so I'm a little bit
5
surprised that they left that
seconds
much
remaining.
on the table with these two picks. Maybe I would have liked to see a core picked up here, but this is what they've opted for. Obviously, Clockwork is pretty decent into Bounty Hunter Pangolier. Sometimes you can disrupt the double jump with your cogs, but of course, just annoying the Rolling Thunder and can be very, very solid. Although forever for the Ringmaster into the Pangolier matchup, it can be quite annoying, as a lot of times I believe you don't actually really give any resist over for the physical damage, so
Team
I know you're right.
it'll
Yeah.
still take quite a bit. And Kalmychata, I really like this one, actually. They go for the Enigma plus the Gyro for themselves, so not only just an insane amount of team fight, some very consistent map pressure. They kind of do steal away the Enigma, as I think the Team Public would have been looking at it. And they,
10
on the
seconds
same phase, they
remaining.
take away this Gyrocopter that Shad would have been very happy to pick up as a counter pick to
5
Enigma.
seconds remaining.
Now he's going to reach a little bit deeper. Finding a counter to this Enigma is not quite as easy, and technically for Kalmychata, it's even a flex, as well as with both your supports on the table for Team Public. It's not very reasonable to pick up a Rubik or a Silencer or a traditional counter to the Enigma like Black Hole. So it's got to be Shad's hero, and very likely, I mean, I guess this could be Mangekyo's hero, so it's nice they can flex it. But probably you don't want to lane the Marcy Clockwork into Enigma. That sounds really miserable. So I would imagine they're flexing this Marcy and picking up the Bristleback for the safe lane, just to try and deal with the
10
Eidolons. Not the
seconds
worst,
remaining.
I think. I do like the Bristleback pickup. I think it's probably one, having something that's just
seconds
tanky
remaining.
and maybe can survive the Black Hole is, and can clear Eidolons, maybe the next best thing. So
Radiant
I like this
team
pickup
back.
from Team Public, but I still really like what Kalmychata has. I mean, I talk a lot of times in drafts myself, Bayo, about how I think simplicity in drafts can be really nice, and there is some level of execution for sure on Kalmychata, but we know that they can execute. This is, they're in DreamLeague Division 2 for a reason. They can execute
10
mechanically their
seconds
plays.
remaining.
And in terms of what their plays actually are
Radiant
kind of
team
simple.
back.
Playing around Rolling Thunder, Black Hole, and a very farmed Gyrocopter are all things that I think they should be very, very comfortable to do, especially with that extra vision from Bounty.
Yeah, and even though Bristleback is your answer to the Eidolons in lane as much as you can, once you get multiple points in quills, it's physical damage. Eidolons don't have a lot of
10
armor, they just got a lot of magic
back.
resistance. But in the game, Bristleback is a very high HP hero. Midnight Pulse does wonders against that, so it's not even that much of a it will be nice in lane, certainly, but Enigma can have some pretty nice black holes, do a lot of damage in the
10
game.
seconds remaining.
And like the rest of this squad, it's going to be an offlane Marcy, most likely, laning into the
5 seconds
gyrocopter.
remaining.
Gyrocopter is a very strong laner here. We're waiting for the 5, I guess. So that's going to be interesting to see what they pair up with that. What kind of big power 5s remain. Is the Tusk is going to get banned out, so you're not going to have any sort of drinking buddies, flat cannon spam, which is kind of the only time that I like drinking buddies, and even then I'm not totally sure. But now Team Public, with 7 seconds remaining on their reserve time, they're going to get rid of the Pugna. Makes sense. Keeps everyone
Interesting.
alive.
Yeah. Definitely not the worst ban. I mean, they still could play position 5 Enigma. That's probably what is slightly annoying Team Public. I don't know if that's what I'd like look towards necessarily, but if they really think that there's a great offlane here they can get that's kind of cheesy,
10 seconds
they
remaining.
have the opportunity to. I don't think they need to by any means. As Team Public, they do have to pick up
5
very likely
seconds
just what is
remaining.
Exantix here. I would expect Ember Spirit. I would expect Dragonite. Probably one of these, any
Radiant
kind of
team
spirit
pick.
flavor. As actually, Exantix goes towards the Quap for himself. So maybe not quite the initiation type that he's been looking at. Maybe he feels that he has enough frontline and initiation. So actually does go towards the Quap. I don't mind it, but it also doesn't inspire the most confidence for me, actually. I think
10
maybe Blade
seconds
Mail is
remaining.
quite nice to have in this game, especially into Gyrocopter, but overall, I think there's some pretty
5
annoying
seconds
things for the
remaining.
Quap on the field. If you can't come out of lane, I think doing really well. But Exantix, very, very strong player, especially in the lane. So overall, I don't mind this Quap. It will deal pretty significant damage as you head into that mid game. And Kalmychata, despite having 2
Oh.
Now
minutes
select your
of draft
heroes.
time, you pick up a position 1 Juggernaut here, as it will be not me on the gyro. So kind of a little bit of a distraction here, the gyro thinking that this was going to go into a carry. Very likely Team Public did think that was the carry gyro as well, as they pick up a Juggernaut, and it's a pretty damn good Juggernaut game, actually.
Yeah, Juggernaut, of course, always attacks the front, so you don't really have to worry about break on the Bristleback when you Omni Slash. Exantix can break the Omni by blinking away. That can be kind of annoying. You do have the box. Does the box disjoint Omni Slash, Rojo?
I believe it does. I'm actually I'm not aware if you keep slashing or not. I'm surprised I haven't seen that in action yet, but I do believe you stop slashing. In either sense, though, it's also particularly just a very good spin game. As Team Public, they do have, in theory, they have pretty high physical damage, but I think realistically, it's not going to be so overwhelming into WoW, as I expect their safe lane to be pretty decently strong, so that this Marcy won't come away, with the game super far ahead of the jug to have that physical damage through. And you don't really care about anything that Clockwork does. You don't really care about anything that Ringmaster does, especially you don't care about things that Quap does while you're spinning. So in terms of WoW, it's a great Blade Fury game. Even dispelling some things like the quill stacks and the daggers after you leave the spin is quite nice. And as you mentioned, still being able to find a lot of value with this Omni Slash, even if the Ringmaster, even if it does stop the Omni Slash, these are obviously pretty nice, simple heroes that have to be in your face. They have to be in Omni Slash range. So for Team Public, it's really just going to be, can they get ahead? And that's kind of a tough task here. I even think for Exantix here, this Quap Pango matchup, I think, has changed quite a bit over time. I do think a lot of it does just come down to raw CSing, but with double jump now, it can be quite problematic. The Quap just takes a lot of damage, and every time that double jump comes out, necessarily you don't have the most armor, but it also means that the Pango is getting a huge amount of shield to kind of trade into the wave, to trade into you. So it's not a very cut and dry matchup, this Quap into Pango. Definitely, I think before, with maxing the dagger, you could create a pretty substantial lead, but with the double jump, your lane is just so much safer for difference, and I think for difference, that's a good thing, for sure. I think for the side of Kalmychata, difference is a very, very strong player, but I think he does very much like to operate on being kind of ahead out of the lane, or at least even. I definitely don't think he's a player that you expect to lose lane. I don't think he's a player that you want to lose lane when you're playing with him, and so giving him kind of a more stable hero like Pangolier that is really significantly strong in lane now is something that I do like for him.
Yeah, makes some sense. You should be able to find a decent amount of pressure. What I will say, though, talking about Team Public, is that this Bristleback, we're already seeing Bristles pretty much uniformly go first item Lotus because of the region it gives you, the armor Bristleback likes. But this is such a good Lotus game, just in general, to the point where I'd love to see... Clockwork, I feel like generally would be the secondary Lotus builder, but it's a 5, so we'll see. But, you know, you can purge off Track, you can Lotus the Omni, you can purge off Malefice,
30
you can
seconds to
reflect, I mean, you get stunned, but you can reflect off the homing missile. That's a little bit more useful, a little bit more relevant when we're talking about the support gyrocopter. There's one might argue that there's almost too much for the single Lotus to do, but it's pretty good for the Bristleback in that way, is we're going to try to posture around, but, you know, smoke breaks, Shad bottom side, and actually Mangekyu on the, or Shad top side, Mangekyu on the bottom side here. Looks like they might, no, Shad's going to back out. So just going to be a 2 for 2. Nothing too crazy, although the Bristleback, he was flirting with standing his ground.
Yeah. They do definitely, on Team Public, they do definitely, I think, want to build a pretty decent early lead for themselves. This is very much a lineup that kind of revolves around those thresholds, the number of thresholds of getting levels, getting that decent little bit of extra few items. As Bristleback is kind of always that hero, it seems like you usually either live by 100 HP and you kill everybody, or you have pretty much full HP and kill everybody, or, you know, you just kind of end up going down. As a little bit of an interesting switch up as well. Not Me and Woe going into the top side. So getting that Marcy matchup, or the Marcy Enigma matchup with the Bounty Hunter in the safe lane. I really like this by Kalmychata. I mean, maybe it seems kind of obvious on paper. You know, you pick a counter to Enigma, throw the Enigma elsewhere. So I like this. I mean, this is gonna be really, really tough for Mangekyu, as, you know, he's much an Enigma player himself, and he's even gonna start to take the gate, as they think this is a pretty unplayable matchup. It's not anything about the Juggernaut into these heroes, but Juggernaut as well into the Clockwork is nice to have. So definitely not something they're upset to do. They're currently not matching the rotations. Even Woe getting pushed into the tower, so nicely traded.
Yeah, decent dispose. And this is only level 1 Juggernaut. Has to go pop his wand to get out of here, but they're just trading. Yeah, they're just chasing them. Yeah. I love this. Yes, you know, Bristleback can be annoying for agi heroes. You don't have a lot of HP, the quills stack up, but Jug is very much a hero that has no issues building that kind of wand triple branches. That's kind of how Jugs tend to be building anyways, so he's going to get himself a lot of wand charges. The one downside to this rotation is Jug did miss out on about a lane of creeps. Very heavy radiant creep wave pushing into the Dire offlane tower, so, you know, Jug will lose out on some CS there before they can get the ooh. Okay, they're going to go double pull, but they're going to miss out on, or they're going to stack the small camp, go for the pull eventually, but they're going to miss out on this one, and actually just trying to spin it down.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just standard push me.
They really want to get that pull, I suppose. But yeah, this is definitely, I mean, this kind of play definitely does throw Woe a little bit into a difficult time on the Juggernaut. Thankfully, getting that second pull camp is actually quite nice for them, as this is definitely going to set things slightly more back to even. But it should be worse overall for the Juggernaut. But I mean, I think how bad this matchup is for Marcy is definitely worth it. And as we've seen so many times before, Enigmas nowadays and for quite some time are not just these black hole kind of bots. They don't go early blinks almost ever anymore. You're really playing around the Eidolons. You're really playing for getting those early auras, especially with something like the Bounty Hunter. Having something like the drums with the track can be really, really useful. So in terms of getting an Enigma ahead, always extremely happy to do so. This hero can take up so much map space. And then eventually in the game, the black hole is always going to be a very significant threat. And just very, very, very nice switch up here that they are managing now to keep, as Team Public just kind of gave up on the idea of switching these levels out.
Well, I mean, you say that, but Mangekyu showed up on the bottom side trying to take down Not Me. Will be able to do so. In fact, Woe has to be careful. He popped the spin, but not going to be enough.
And Rare God side too.
And yeah, Bounty on the top side. Now Woe with the dagger on top of him here. He's got to be very careful. There's going to be the dispose runs away once again. And
Anku's being gone on as well.
Yeah,
Shad's just taking the tower. Wow.
Abandoning things. Okay. Not really. That's going to be a double kill for Shad as Rare God tries to TP in. Looks to hit the shuriken toss. Shad is slowed down. You would assume he dies, but he's going to be able to get neutral.
Nicely done.
Yes. Okay.
Nicely done. Got that charge from the shuriken coming out, I believe, and then was able to heal up, get that neutral deny. Really, really well played by Team Public. Just, I mean, a sequence of events that they just truthfully played better across the map. And it ends up in 4 kills for them. Even Shad not actually dying, only dying to the creeps. So 2 kills on both of their cores. That's very significant. Again, Team Public, they really just want to come away with this early game. All these heroes want just that little bit of extra lead. The Marcy wants to make sure you get all those levels necessary. And so it is a very, very nice start here for Team Public as, again, Woe, he's not doing the hottest on the Juggernaut, which he was the last pick in the draft. So this lane, the lane shenanigans kind of behooving him the least here.
Yeah, remember,
for the time
Jug is
being.
one of these. Jug is one of these heroes in lane that, sure, the spin is very nice, does a lot of damage, but you really do want to go. You want to have a stun in your lane, and while technically homing missile can kind of be that stun, first of all, Gyrocopter hasn't skilled it, and second of all, it's a pretty delayed one anyways. It gives room for Mangekyo to go and back out and kind of make the space before the spin goes out. So it's not all that easy for Woe to like truly connect with this spin.
Yeah, it's not a very nice spin game, but actually quite a bit of damage on the side of Mangekyo, but taking now more damage himself.
Yeah,
The bodyguard.
Yeah, the rocket barrage causing not enough problems here, and they try to. This is the goal of Gyrocopter, right? You go in, it's a lot of damage early, 2 points in rocket barrage with the homing missile. You're supposed to be able to get these kills, but fighting into the creep wave meant the rocket barrage didn't really get that much damage done, and as you talked about, that bodyguard Rojo, it just got him just enough life back.
Yeah, that was, I mean, the bodyguard is incredibly strong into Juggernaut and just very, very strong in general. As 6-minute runes come out, difference, he's quite fortunate to get himself a regen rune. One of the best runes, of course, he could ever get at the 6-minute mark. But it has been, you know, that helps difference a little bit as this mid matchup is pretty dead even. Xantix has kept himself pretty safe here. Had a few points in the dagger, went back for the Scream of Pain, and now grabbing the bounty rune, wants to make himself into the bot lane. Not Me is incredibly fast. There's 4 heroes down here.
Yeah, Puppy's here as well as Not Me. Just gonna get Sonic Wave down. He should die. He's got the dagger on top of him, and that's the start. Unfortunately, it's not gonna be the Juggernaut. That is Not Me's job. He kind of tanks this 4-man gank, which is solid. You know, you would much rather lose your Gyrocopter than your Juggernaut, but even still, this is a Gyrocopter. I feel like this happens a lot with these kind of support Gyrocopter games where you're not just like out and out winning the lanes. What exactly does this Gyrocopter do in the mid game?
It flexes in the draft is what the answer mostly. I don't think they wanted the gyro ideally to be support in this game, but they were just keeping the idea open, and once they saw a better pick for that carry, they went for it. So the gyro I don't think necessarily going to be the most impactful hero throughout the map, but in the mid game, what you are looking to do on gyro pretty much is make sure you always get your levels, and then you play around that shard. You're definitely a hero about damage, as opposed to you know, less supporting than most heroes. Difference in this bot side, Cheesy, that is a very strong man, and he has just enough movement to get out of Difference's way there. So maybe a little bit of a driving test required for Difference as he goes to the spot side, but for the moment they're at least catching this. I believe that was almost a 4-stack that they picked up. Most of the creeps going to Not Me, but still well worth it to steal that away.
Yeah, these early level these pre-blink rotations from Pangolier can sometimes feel a little awkward, where you're rolling Thunder from too far away, you don't really make contact, and it's awkward as Rare Gods. Level 5 actually, 8 minutes in, not bad from him. Very well done there, Difference. Gets the deny on top of Rare Gods. And that was the imp damage being popped, by the way, from this Queen of Pain. So maybe losing out on a little bit of power from that one. But now we're seeing the power of this Bristleback versus the Enigma matchup. Now, he's in. He's
Black
got level
Hole.
5. The Black Hole will be committed. This should, you think, be the death shad, but he's going to go kill.
Oh, he's fast.
No. And he's running away. He's got
ran.
Warpath stacks. A deep into looking for the deny, trying to find it, ring around the rosy. Now, whoa, getting very low as well with the Bristlebat, with the Quill stacks.
Rare Gods?
Shad's is he just out of here? We're gonna have a TP in from Rare Gods, looks for the, there we go. Shurkentoss goes in, finally takes his Bristleback down, but that was the black hole. That was a juggernaut rotation. And on the bottom side of the map here, half damage done onto the tower. We're gonna bring the Enigma in to try to bully back this Marcy, but you know, Rojo, we're kind of past the point where Enigma truly bullies the Marcy. The Helm Dom creep is done. Enigma hates getting jumped on top of, and I mean, we can see this by how Mangekyo's playing. He's just running right on top of where these Eidolons are.
Yeah, he's so strong. Level 7 now. Ooh, that is a good wheel as well. Difference.
You know, Mangekyo taking a lot of damage, though. He's going to get tracked up. There's the Rolling Thunder, and this should be, there we go, a dead Marcy as the difference. Looks for a little bit more. Not quite going to find it, but Puppy, no, he's got a Bristleback in front of him. So Rare Gods does have to run as the Swashbuckle doesn't quite land, and now Rare Gods, he does have the cloak. He does have the invisibility available to himself, so he's going to get out of here, and he would love to find Puppy.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Yeah, he can, I believe, get this kill if he gets on top of it. Oh, the track will expire. So he's just going to keep hunting, but now he doesn't actually have mana for both of his spells, so I actually don't think he can get this Puppy kill. Well, he's going to try, but probably could turn around and get the kill as well. He was walking and trying to get something.
Dire are scanning.
Unfortunately, this Juggernaut not finding very much, and
Radiant's
across the
bottom
board,
tower
it's just
is
Team
under
Public
attack.
finding a very significant net worth lead as Shad is now pushing
Radiant's
5.2k net
is
worth,
fortified.
barreling towards that extremely strong Lotus that we're talking about at the start of the game. So Team Public just a game, very much a draft of margins, and they've been playing the margins extremely well. That black hole not getting utilized very well. I mean, for that first, as it did get punished on Anku. So not a very significant lead from the Enigma, of course, not a lead really at all, as all three of these cores are ahead on Team Public. This is going to be a comeback game from Kalmychata, and Team Public, the way they've drafted, this is a slightly more difficult team to come back from. At least Jeezy will give away a track kill to the two supports, but it is also just to the two supports, as Rare God is having one of the better games across Kalmychata, which I actually don't mind too much on this Bounty Hunter, but it does mean that the farming potential is not exactly the highest between them. Although I do like this smoke. You got the Diffusal now finished on difference. He didn't buy boots at all. He went straight into that raw Diffusal. I personally like this Pango build. But it does mean once they get to those rotations, going to feel rather nice. Xantic, they see him. This is some of the Swashbuckle.
Yep, Homie Missile on top of him, but he can blink out of there for now as Woe. Technically, it's Omni Slash up, but there are a lot of creeps there, so that doesn't really seem all that viable. They're just going to try to click down the creep, clear the wave. This rotation, not really finding all that much. And, you know, I talked about Bounty Hunter having a really good game, and he is, but he lost his courier. So these kills that he's been a part of have not been giving him earn charges, which, especially now as the vessel's just about done, diminishes his power on the map by a decent amount.
Yeah, it certainly is annoying for them, and that's a little bit awkward as well that, I mean, on difference, they're just starting with the Swashbuckle on to Quap. Maybe they could have looked for a kill, but without that, the Thunderbolt facet on to the Pangolier, which I think is absolutely correct not to go, it can still just be hard to actually fully stun chain people with the Rolling Thunder nowadays. So not able to actually lock down these heroes very significantly. They have managed to at least bring things back to a more normal state for themselves, but Shad has been extremely happy with the way the map is. Very, very comfortable on this Bristleback kind of hero, and showcasing why they didn't end up picking it up as...
Whoa, has to be so careful. The damage that
He's slow.
Gekyu has. That looks for
he's
the
done.
Omni Slash. It's no damage. It doesn't matter. The armor's way too high. And now,
Oof.
not only is Woe dead, that's a long cooldown on the Omni.
Yeah, I mean, unlikely, honestly, he'd get much value out of it anywhere, because he is
Radiant's top
so
tower
weak
is under attack.
on this Juggernaut, and maybe part of the lane change just kind of eating up against them, or going
Radiant's
against
top
the side of
tower has
Kalmychata.
fallen.
I really, really like the concept, but Team Public, they had a really good idea of how to kind of contest the lane swap and the timing at which they should do so. And now going for that kind of gambit has not paid off at all. It's meant that Woe is very significantly behind where they'd want to have that Battle Fury, and Anku is not even a Vlad's yet, only really a Drums on this Enigma. It's not nearly enough to stand up against Shad, who does have the Lotus Orb coming out for himself. So even if there was an Omni Slash available, not into Shad, and a way to get those debuffs onto him, he'll be able to constantly get rid of the track, which, mind you, track these days as well is now 8% damage amplification, and it's the ability to sometimes get an extra charge on the Shuriken So for the time being, they're onto this Wisdom Shrine.
Trying to go in. Shad was
Still
very
taking
happy
a lot
to
of damage.
lay in the front, but he's taking a lot of damage. You're right, but Xantic moves in, gets on top of Rare Gods. He lives for now. No dagger on top of him, but will eventually die. And Black Hole is technically available. Oh, nice kill from Difference. Looking for 2 on top of Poppy, actually.
Oh, no. Shad.
But he's taking so much damage. Shad and Xantic just running straight through this fight. And this is the Bounty Hunter lineup, by the way. This is the lineup that is supposed to be getting more gold from these fights. But when you're behind at a 4,000 net worth difference at 14 minutes in, it just doesn't feel like a good hero.
Yeah. And the XP starting to show a lot as well. I mean, across the board, these are cores that I think sometimes are happy being even in net worth, but for the side of Team Public, but they are ahead in most capacities. And most of the gold in Kalmychata, in fact, this net worth lead would be a lot worse if it wasn't for Rare Gods being so farmed on the bounty. Having that vessel is nice to have for the hero, but it just has not translated into enough power for them to actually translate into, you know, more than 1 or 2 track kills at most. As they do look onto Jeezy, a little bit far up, so might actually get punished.
Well, will he? He will eventually. The Fox is buying a decent amount of time, Tame the Beast to force him back. But realistically, all that did was it got time for Rare Gods to come over and get a track kill. So, well, it probably would have been better if he just died instead of trying to buy the space.
Probably, but obviously can't really know that. Where Rare Gods is at any time. Haven't gotten too much vision either, to be honest, off of Rare Gods. As he has been involved in a lot of fights. I think he's been playing the Bounty Hunter very, very well, but a lot of times with Bounty Hunter, you really want to be striving off of playing that kind of vision game. As the TP over on Shad. Anywhere that you see this Bristleback, you probably want to run away from, as they will. Xantic now finishing up his Kaya and Sanj. So very accelerated on this Quap. I think the Quap could have been a little bit dicey into this kind of draft, but as Kalmychata have fallen further and further behind, as Xantic has pullen further and further ahead, he's extremely happy now. An illusion or a shield rune as well. About an extra 900 HP when you're on that strength thread for Xantic. So this Quap game is very, very nice. Again, Quap, very often when I see this hero talk about how you don't need a ton of net worth, I think, to make this hero tick. In the early game, it's very nice to accelerate you, but as the game moves on, you can reasonably be 2,000 to 3,000 net worth down on a Quap and be very, very impactful. This game, he is ahead as really nice hook shot.
Yeah, on top of not. He's bounced into the corner. There's the Wheel of Wonder. They were trying to go take down the hero behind him, but they just get not me. That's something. Is he's got his PV stun. He's working onto that Solar Crest, which is going to be really nice onto this Juggernaut, or really anyone that Shad goes on top of. But I like what Team Public are doing right now. We're seeing, we're seeing Kalmychata try to go take these towers down, play with their Enigma pressure a little bit, kind of split the map up, and Public, they're just balling up his 4. They're saying, yeah, no, anytime you show on a wave, we're going to run at you. We're going to make life as difficult as possible. Oh, Difference moves in with the swashbuckle. That's he dodges actually. He dodges this Marcy, but no, that's not a thing. And now, oh no, Anku, he showed as well. Queen of Pain goes on top of him. There's the shield rune. Sonic Wave as well, getting on top of him here. He's got room for a black hole, but no, he's
got Mangekyo
dead.
And
they do get Mangekyo. That's really nice. They're not going to get Xantic. They don't have the control for him, but
good jump.
They should be able to get Jeezy. One would assume Tame the Beast not going to be enough, and now Puppy showing up here. Rare Gods will die. Xantic's got a triple kill.
Oh no.
He might be able to do more here, but with the healing ward, seems like that's going to be enough.
Yeah, gonna chill for a bit, and this gets him straight into his blade mail for Xantic. So, all things considered, Kalmychata I think got slightly more than they probably would have wanted out of that. A slight gold lead, even with those tracks coming out, but that's something. That's almost a trade I think that you would take for Team Public. Maybe you give away a little bit of XP to the side of Kalmychata. Maybe you give a little bit of space, but getting these levels onto Xantic, getting this just pure amount of gold, again, a super value on the Quap, as he is far and away above where you'd expect us. Even jumping in this mid lane, that blade mail so annoying for the gyrocopter in specific, and not feeling brave enough to jump into that one. Maybe would have been able to, but certainly not a safe play to make. And across the board, I really like what Team Public has been doing, just bringing every hero that they possibly have. They've been very grouped up this game, and really that's just been meaning that Kalmychata has very little playmaking to do, especially with this bounty hunter.
Radiant's
One
top
of kind of the
tower
more
is under attack.
prolific ways to defeat a bounty hunter is instead of walking alone across the map, Beowulf, you walk with a friend. You have a little bit of a buddy system against this bounty hunter. And
Is under attack.
Rare Gods, he's been fighting a lot in these team fights, so he's, I think, doing far and away more than the bounty hunter can do, but he can't actually punish them significantly as they head into this Roshan, and it's going to be an extremely fast one as Shad, even during the time of this Roshan, finishes up a full Crimson next year.
Yeah, that's not necessarily your like traditional carry bristleback item. You might go like Lotus into SMY, which he does have queued up, but they understand that, first of all, Crimson is incredible into this Enigma with the Eidolons. It's fantastic into the Jug with how low damage he is. It's just one of these items that they got a 5,000 net worth lead.
Is under
They
attack.
have such a strong ball right now that, and Crimson means that this ball is already, they couldn't touch the ball. And now it's just, it's
Dire's
utterly
bottom tower
unassailable.
has fallen. Radiant's top
Yeah,
tower
Shad
under
is,
attack.
I mean, he is all unkillable. And again, this is really how a Bristleback can operate sometimes. Is sometimes this hero feels like it is particularly weak, but when this hero gets ahead by the margin that it has for Shad, it feels really strong. And even Crimson Guard, getting it before 20 minutes, it takes the Tormentor extremely efficiently. They lose almost no HP. They lose almost no time getting this extra shard here. Not necessarily the strongest one, unfortunately. The mischance is annoying. Maybe the vision is nice, but Ringmaster Shard overall, a little underwhelming if there's no illusions to get rid of. But just a little bit more net worth into the coffers of Team Public. They don't even lose that much space for taking the Tormentor. And Xantic with his Aegis. He's going to be happy to kind of hack away at these tier 2s. No
Radiant's
contest
top
for
tower
a
is
pretty
under
significant
attack.
amount of time. The lockdown for this swap is definitely weak. And another nice hook shot.
Very
Puppy.
nice hook shot indeed as they're trying to stay on top of Rare Gods with the battery assault. Here comes Mangekyu. So Rare Gods should just die and Trek goes down on top of Puppy. But yeah, there's going to be another dead bounty hunter who has been having a pretty good bounty hunter game. Again, the problem is that what is a bounty hunter having a good game when the rest of his team is not doesn't really do all that much. Although, you know, Rojo, that is a lot of Eidolons. Bottom side of the map on the tier 2. That is, they might be able to trade tier 2s here.
Yeah, they might be able to trade one at tier 2. So,
Yeah.
and I mean, honestly, truthfully, not as Puppy. This is definitely a sign of the game. He is a solo Clockwork willing to show up onto this bot side of the map. No shard yet for the side of Not Me, as he did opt for the Lotus or the Solar Crest first. So no extra damage on this Gyro to look for any kind of kills. And from the side of Kalmychata, again, another awkward thing is that their playmaking, particularly on this lineup, is not that strong from behind. They do have the blink on difference, but they did see him under a ward as well. So Xantic's beelining it towards him.
Dire's top tower.
TP out.
Gonna go teleport on top of Woe, top side of the map here, but not. He's gonna be able to get the spin off in time. That's fine. And Enigma does have the blink now. No BKB, right? No ultimate solution. No like absolute perfect scenario. As a difference is actually gonna lose his point booster. Very unfortunate there. Or, but even still. Right, this blink black hole. I know we talk about how Enigma's not really always the black hole hero anymore, but when you're behind like this, blink black hole can cause some pretty significant problems. He's again trying to go on top of Woe, but he's gonna get the spin off in time, and now black hole's ready to go. They're just gonna pop it.
Nicely done.
Take down Mangekyu. You'd love to have this 5-man black hole now TPing away, but unfortunately it's forced staff right into where this Ringmaster is. Tame the Beasts. Takes down Rare Gods once again.
A trade you are willing to take, though, as honestly, Kalmychata finding pretty good real estate on the map, as they're even going to look towards Puppy with the side of Woe. So a pretty active Juggernaut.
Oh no,
Ooh,
that's a
an
bad
unlucky
omni.
dom. Oh, no.
That's a horrible omni here. Now the box is going to go down. There's the Wheel of Wonder. Everyone's here. Anku is... Yeah. Juggernaut is a very good hero, Rojo. Don't get me wrong, but I man, Omni slashing when there's a creep wave nearby just it always feels like it goes wrong.
Yeah, it definitely does feel that way. Just, yeah, not finding what Woe wanted there. Very unfortunate, but
Dire's
that is the
middle
life
tower
of the
is
Juggernaut
under
sometimes.
attack.
Omni slash still, you know, a very inconsistent part of this hero. Ideally, you don't want to be relying on it to have to get the kills, but in the game state they're in, they are. Well, honestly, not doing too poorly on terms of the net worth for the Juggernaut, but the real unfortunate thing is that this Crimson from Shad is going to be so... I mean, Crimson Lotus, and as soon as on Janyasha, this carry-to-carry matchup, there's not really anything for WoW to do until there's the kind of later stage of the game. So they're still going to try to utilize the last about 30 seconds or so of this Aegis. They've kept the net worth lead stable as Kalmychata. They've done a decent job of splitting, but not enough to keep these tier 2s alive during this first Roshan. Pretty much all you can expect from it, and the items that they're building into are still, I mean, they're still hitting some pretty significant item timings as on the top side, not me. Unfortunate. Ooh. Nice tempos.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to TP on out of that one, so he dies to Mangekyo once again. And when we take a look at this quap, by the way, Rojo, it is 24.5 minutes in.
Yeah.
And his Shivas is on the way. He already has the very expensive recipe. The armor is on the way. And, you know, we talk about more ways to deal with this Juggernaut. Juggernaut is a hero. Oh, okay. What did he got Puppy's Courier. So not a super impactful one. But, you know, this is Juggernaut. He relies on attack speed to be able to make sure that he gets his damage done. He's a very physical damage focused hero. Well, now he's got less attack speed, and he's just never going to be able to kill Xantic with the armor that he has.
Yeah, I mean, armor stacking very, very powerful in this game. For sure, as Xantic is unlikely to die in the next couple minutes. You have to kind of force the black hole onto him, but Puppy has never been too far away from Xantic to actually let that happen. On Rare Gods again, punishing this bounty hunter. Buddy system working out quite well for them, and as you mentioned, Xantic, a top net worth quap at this point in the game. Honestly, much harder to do than people, I think, kind of understand, or it's... this hero doesn't usually farm that fast, but of course, when you create the kind of lead that Xantic has, when you have 8-0-2 as your scoreline, much easier to get into this position. So a very, very scary quap game. She was at 25 minutes is just ridiculous. Not able to catch much for the time being with Chad. He's going to walk into all of them, and he found them. As they do black hole right away. No Crimson.
No, he's dead at the very beginning of this fight. Now, Rolling Thunder's going to go in Sonic Wave on top of Anku as he tries to run away, but he's got the healing ward on top of him now.
Oh, no,
it's stunned up a little bit. Omnislash trying to take him down. Do we have the damage? Yes, we do. He goes godlike and goes down immediately now, trying to get on top of Jeezy as well. He's going to get spun down. Well, maybe not. The damage is not as powerful as I thought it might otherwise be. And now Woe tries to find him even still. Jeezy goes a little bit hops forward, but he's going to get taken down eventually. Well, maybe not by these Eidolons. Difference, though, will find him at the end of this fight. They're just doing such a good job hiding away Mangekyo. And on the other side of the map, not me. He's going on a killing spree. He's got 3 kills in this fight as they take Puppy down. And remember, Rojo, every single one of these kills was a track kill. That's a 4,000 net worth fight. Call it even more with the difference with how much gold Team Public has lost. And all of a sudden, Kalmychata are right back in this game.
That was... Oh, I mean, really, really nice by Anku, honestly, that he knew that they were a little bit behind the Bristleback, just immediately popping that black hole was so crucial, and not in a telegraphed way at all. So Shad just kind of overestimating his strength. He was a little bit faced towards them, and he didn't press that Crimson, so he didn't have that kind of innate tankiness that he's been looking for. Xantic slightly too far out, was a little bit out of reach of the box, and these really tanky heroes with this super significant lead ended up falling down, as you mentioned as well, to the track kills. So this is now 2 supports as well who are really, really cooking. They even find Puppy. Another track kill, and that's no BKB. They don't
At least it's been popped as well. And Xantic, though, will find Rare Gods. Rare Gods, 5 seconds until he can turn invisible, so they're going to be able to take him down. Xantic looking for a little bit more here. Omni Slash not up for 12, Swift Slash for 7. It seems like Woe is gonna be... he's playing around this. It looks like he almost wants to go back in if he can find someone dangling. Very confident with his 2400 HP, with his Manta, with everything else he's got.
Yeah, it is risky for sure, but he is very strong now. He's about even with net worth in the quap. He's above net worth now with the Bristle, finishing that full Ags off the back of that fight. Level 20 even for Woe. So the extra hits onto that healing ward. It's only level 1 healing ward, mind you, but still very nice to have. Has a very, very nice set of sequences, especially for Woe on this Juggernaut. And they last picked this Juggernaut because We praised it a lot in the draft, Bayo. This is a
Dire
pretty good
are
Juggernaut
scanning.
game. It just hasn't been going good in the early game. Now, you can kind of act like that early game never happened. It's only a 2k lead for Team Public off of the back of this. This next Roshan spawning in 10 seconds, Bayo. And that's one that's going to roar. So for Team Public, sneaking this Roshan, not really going to be a particularly easy task, as now there's going to be pressure onto it from the side of Kalmychata, coming now back into the black hole cooldown, soon into BKB for Onku, about 600 gold. And this next item from Woe is going to be coming out soon. He's currently eyeing the butterfly, but my real curiosity is when or who is going to end up getting a nullifier for the side of Kalmychata, as it is an incredibly strong nullifier game. And let me see, it's just, okay, Rare Gods has a Crimson, I believe, actually, on this
Yeah,
bounty
I-
hunter.
Tower is under
I was
attack.
looking at this. I don't. This is not a great Crimson Guard game, right? For the side of Kalmychata.
Very good into Marcy, but not really anything
Yeah.
else.
Okay, I guess you do have Marcy, but he's got a he's got a Kaya, a Conda queued up after that, which feels great right into Shad.
That is good, yeah. Very good.
So we're gonna have a call down. That's just pulling the tower down a little bit as Rare Gods. He's under
Oh, the
vision,
sentry.
but he's gonna be nice
But
force
that was
step
kind
on
of
the high
saucy.
ground.
It still dies.
But nope, yeah, he's gonna get feared up. Nice job there, Jeezy. So Rare Gods with the spotlight will eventually get taken down. A little bit of space made, but
Ooh,
Roshan
amplify damage on the
is-
top side.
yeah,
Oh.
Roshan is up though.
Gonna give the bottle as
So-
well. So during this there's about a 3-minute timer or so where Woe has access to this amplify damage while the Roshan is alive. Not having Rare Gods means that they would love maybe for Team Public to get in, but don't actually know. And they do have Puppy's Ags. Puppy, he went for kind of this first item Ags on Clockwork. Feels really, really great with the Rocket Flare, but this Roshan is, oh my god.
He's
Okay, the
dying.
Rockets make it, okay.
Wait, why
Now
did,
this,
why did he
this is
roar?
kinda dicey.
Oh no, he
Flare.
roared on the rocket barrage. That's actually so nice. Shad tries
Oh,
to
that's
run
an
in,
Omni.
looks for the
Got
Omni
it.
slash, but now he's gonna be able to get it down. Black hole on top of this Quap as well, but look at the hook shot. Goes in. She really stuns them all up here, but they're bathing in the Midnight Pulse. It's a lot of damage, but Woe still has to run. He gets very low into this fight, and the Healing Ward gets
still.
taken down. He's gonna get Tame the Beast. That's the Aegis. They did get it. He snatched it down at the very end. They're looking for a
On
little
this
bit
hit.
more. They missed the stun switch test, and now he's got to run here.
Okay.
Spin up in one, but he will fall. So they get the Queen of Pain. They take down the Ringmaster, but Puppy sending the rockets in, triggering the roar from this, really from the Roshan, made that fight incredibly awkward for the side of Kalmychata.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost wonder if they're ever going to change at some point the way that roar works. I mean, it really did work in the favor a huge amount for Team Public. Buying that extra few seconds meant they could get into the pit. Forced Woe to use that Omni Slash early. Wasn't able to. I mean, maybe they could have been slightly more patient, knowing that this. Well, they didn't know that this Clockwork Ags was up, but it did so much for the side of Team Public. I still think, honestly, all things considered, not a horrible sequence of events. Given where Kalmychata was a few minutes ago, I think they've still set themselves to a decent spot, and now they don't have to worry about an Aegis timing. The unfortunate thing is that the momentum they were building up towards potentially getting themselves towards the lead, it did kind of fall on that wayside. As Xantic takes over to level 20 for the Quap, a very nice talent, always to get for her, as well as a BKB now picked up. So, Xantic a little bit even stronger than the Quap already was, and for Shad, his item of choice was the Heart of Harass. He's thinking, you know, I died to Black Hole once, Bayo. I don't want to do it twice. And
Yeah.
he's decided to go opt for the Heart, but he's actually losing a lot of mana to difference. That's one thing that might be frustrating for him.
Yeah, but, you know, you talk about this Heart, and it's not even like Heart does that much into the Black Hole Midnight Pulse. It gives you more HP, which, hey, guess what? Midnight Pulse takes 10% every second. So it's like, yeah, kinda. But especially with the Vestal as well, this Heart does not feel like it does that much for the Bristleback, at least in the Black Hole.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if there was. Maybe just having flat out more armor would be nice for Shad. Maybe an AC or something could have been slightly nicer for them to get, as they do smoke up now. A pretty nice ward deep in the base, actually, that GZ was able to get. If they could find Onku, that'd be incredible. He just finished his BKB,
Radiant
mind
are
you, and he
scanning.
is working towards that Ags. This will be a really big timing if Onku can ever find this Ags in the Enigma. You've been talking about the percentage max HP from Midnight Pulse, but the Ags will provide that as well onto the Ags. And Puppy breaks onto Rare Gods. Doesn't actually have the vision down for the time being, so unfortunately, loses that vision. But Anku, he's going to be hunted with the rocket flare. Very obnoxious. Nicely able to blink out though.
Nice. Staying around maybe a little bit too much, but no, it looks like he will be out as we don't really have any major objectives on the map for Team Public to find right now. No Wisdom Shrine for another minute or so, you know, no tier 2s available, but now on the bottom side, they're going to find difference here, and there's going to be the Rolling Thunder, Bomb trying to get on out. There's the Sonic Wave. Rolling Thunder can't get it off because of the battery assault. It's going to be a dead Pangolier. Not great. At the very least, it's like under the tier 2, right? So it doesn't really unlock that much pushing potential.
Yeah, it is quite annoying to lose your Pango for the time being. So nice catch over onto the side of difference. Honestly, on this Pangolier, he has gotten to a lot of his key kind of timings. He's gotten past level 18, which is huge for Pango. He has that Ags, that level 20. So very strong on the Pango. But means that fighting without him is rather difficult, and does mean you don't have access to that mana burn that's been annoying Shad so much. Woe has Butterfly. Very nice item for him. Extra points now down in the healing ward as well. So the damage is very high, potentially, from Woe. I like this by Team Public. Shad really shadding up here onto the high ground. Starting to hit. I mean, despite being not that strong, he knows that without difference, he really wants to force something. It's, oh my god, man. You got the bubble move.
Yeah, moves right back in, forces the black hole, but the hook shot cancels it. That's not really going to find the value they're looking for. Butterfly, though, on top of Woe. This is a lot of damage available to him right now. As this clockwork dies, Woe looking for a little bit more. Swift Slash and 12. But looks like they're going to be able to get out of here for now. Really measured retreat. They got the Ranger Axe as well. So, you know, it's black hole down. You lost your clockwork. But you forced black hole down. You got the mid tier 3. You got the Ranger Axe. Yeah, you don't want to lose Puppy, but that is a significant win, really, for Team Public.
Yeah, it's nice, but I don't think sets them too far ahead, as that was a very ballsy play by Mangekyo. I like the Spunk to go for that, as he's finished a full Daedalus on this Marcy. Very ridiculous damage he can get access to, but he could have easily been the one dying there, and then I think that feels much worse for the side of Team Public. So kind of getting away with murder, as the black hole didn't even get canceled by the hook shot, I believe, as it either hit a target right behind him, or I think he ended up in the black hole before the hook shot actually landed, so he never ended up getting that stun. It could have been really tough for Mangekyo, and given the place that they were in the game just, you know, a while ago for the side of Team Public, being only 3k net worth ahead, it really feels like nothing. At 36 minutes, that is a little bit of chump change as Anku. He's now finishing that Aghanims, and he's going to be level 18 as well soon with another neutral item on his, able to get another neutral item, as it's another thing coming out for both teams. Neutral items on tier 4s, these ones can be quite significant. Sometimes a little bit of game deciders, as Team Public haven't picked up any of theirs yet, but so far 2 Pyrrhic Cloaks are really nice for the side of Kalmychata. 1 on the difference. The Spirit Cloak can be very impactful with all the shield you can gather. Of course, having it on Not Me, a rather tanky hero for this Gyro. Nice to have that as well. Some magnifying monocles will make it potentially easier to play the fights for Rare Gods. We'll see if they get anything really particularly worth shouting home about for Team Public. Unfortunately, no Dazune Bloodright for the side of Anku. He's probably a little beaten up about that one. But regardless, these neutral items could have a pretty big impact. So far, Kalmychata have gotten some pretty good ones for themselves. Maybe a Pyrrhic Cloak on his Xantic could actually work towards killing this Enigma at some point, but for the time being, haven't picked any up themselves, and it's going to be a smoke up from the side of Kalmychata. Again, now level 18 with that Ags onto Anku. Shad is definitely not that tanky. If he gets caught in this black hole, you have to be ready to cancel it.
He just dies, and now 5 seconds on that black hole. They're going to lead with Woe. He's got that butterfly we talked about. It's a significant damage boost for him. Level 25, and the Bashers, well, they're going to run right into Shad, looking for, did even spend the black hole on this one? Not for the time being. The call out, or the call down goes through. You're looking for a little bit more, but they get you on the backside. He's going to find this Marcy. Now, Marcy, the black hole. The black hole. They're going to kill him off, but that's not necessarily the target. Look at the Bashes. On top of it, Xantic pops the Yule, tries to buy a little bit more time, looks to blink on out of there, but the Bashes again. So very problematic, but now Shad moving in. There's really nothing to contest them. And, well, he's going to have to spin for the time being. Just TP on out of
Oh,
here.
nice pass.
He's gonna get stunned though from the hook shot. Turns
He's
on
fighting.
Poppy, very nicely damaged. Dice damaged on there now. Shad. Swift slash
a
actually
good
gets
gun,
out of there.
actually.
That's pretty good. And Shad's gonna have to try to chase him down. No Manta for 15, spin for 2. But he's gonna be able to try to turn once again. The damage that Woe has at this point in the game, if he can turn on top of Shad, it's kind of overwhelming.
Good
Sonic
down.
will hit though. And he will fall 98
Stand.
seconds as he bought out here. No buyback right near the tier 3s. The difference moves in, but he can't kill anyone on his own. He's gonna have to get on out of here. TP's find a little bit more space. Pops the roll up. Wait a minute here. But the Ghost Scepter on top.
Got it.
He kills Xantic. And now
And he's
I
gonna
think
kill
he just
GC2, I think.
Run? Is it worth killing Jeezy if Shad chases you down? But he will be able to go take down
fine.
Jeezy. Gets on top of the low
Good
ground.
move.
Shad does have this basher, so you can't TP on out. But he's got Blink in 3, and I did not believe in that indifferent showing up. I did not think he had the damage of Rojo, but I mean, clearly with this level 25, he absolutely did.
Yeah, he just ticked over to that, but Bale, you made a very crucial mistake. You should never assume that the Pangolier doesn't have damage. Time and time again, I think we've learned how ridiculous this hero can get, and difference, just really understanding the limits there, as he's not going to finish up a full refresher for himself. This feels really, really wonderful for the Pango once you get to refresher. I mean, this can feel absolutely ridiculous, and off the back of that, maybe not the way that Kalmychata wanted that fight to go. In fact, I think it was kind of awful at the beginning, but cleaning up those last few kills on difference was so crucial. Now they're going to be on a relatively even footing as this Roshan walks itself to the bot side. Shad final finish Abyssal, but this is I mean, they salvaged that really, really nicely, and an incredibly crucial play from difference as he does finish that refresher.
Man, a bit of a misplay though from this gyrocopter. We do want to point this out. I was trying to figure out why the Quap went ethereal in that fight. Quap doesn't have a Ghost Scepter, but Not-Me does have this E-Blade, so he popped the E-Blade on top of the Quap. That almost let the Quap live because, you know, as you know, Pangolier is just all physical damage. So Pangolier goes on top. That just the remains of that the E-Blade on top of him did mean that the Rolling Thunder struggled to get damage. Yeah, they're gonna find.
Oh, they have
Shad
Black Hole
on the high ground.
They're afraid of the hook shot. Very reasonable to be scared of the hook shot. So that's the one thing that's annoying Onku in this game. If they didn't have hook shot, this game, truthfully, I think would be about maybe 20, 30, maybe more percentage difficult. Mind you, the Roshan, it actually wasn't killed by the side of, I believe they snatched it last time on Woe. So it was killed off by Team Public again. That means that the Roshan Roar, it's only going to come through from that Rocket Flare or unless they can get close to the pit. It's a secondary smoke committed from the side of Kalmychata. This is one of their last-ditch efforts, as they only have one smoke left. They really need these in the late game portion. But finally, holding a network lead for themselves, and both teams kind of doing a little bit of a bring around the rosy, swapping positions.
Yeah, this smoke was flared out by Puppy as well. They did see that happening as Shad.
Both teams now, I think.
Yeah, they should know where they
Another
are.
smoke.
This is the classic.
Smoke on
So
smoke
yeah,
on
another
smoke.
smoke. Chad leading the charge. He's not smoked up for the time being as the rocket flare goes down. Doesn't really make that much of a difference because this is a, well, actually not smoked anymore. They're going to see Not-Me. As Rare Gods runs
Rare
forward.
Gods.
He's under vision here. That's a problem. He's going to force Steph himself onto the
Thank
low
you.
ground. Bangyaku going to look for him as they find Puppy at the start of this. That's not that impactful. But now we're going to see Omni Slash or Swift Slash go on top of Shad. Lotus gets
Bangyaku's
popped. He
wasting
can't
his
immediately
Omni.
go into the Omni. Is Bangyaku
Pressing
moves
the
in there. The
BKB.
Black Hole Omni Slash as well. But the
Oh,
box
good
keeps him
box.
safe. Cancels it. No nullifier. This late into the game is such a problem, and now the Wheel of Wonder won't take so much damage. He's gonna have to go. He's gonna get down, and no buyback available for this Juggernaut this late into the game. Not-Me should get chased down as well. E-Blade trying to buy some space, tries to TP on out of here, and actually will get out as Rare Gods. Well, do we have any vision? Keep running. Looks like there's a little bit more vision there. Puppy, does he have a gem? Yeah, he's got a gem. So Rare Gods will eventually die, but we're 43 minutes in. There's no buyback of, I guess, 7 gold for the Juggernaut. But, you know, Rojo, you talk about this refresher, which feels really good for difference. He had a nullifier queued up. He decided to go refresher instead, which I guess makes sense, but Bristle dies if there's a nullifier on top of him.
Yeah, this is I mean, I do think it's very illegal that Kalmychata has not itemized a nullifier yet. Indifference's build, I would definitely criticize. I like the Basher. I think like there's a lot of reasons that Pangos do go Basher, but personally, I would always trade this Basher to be a nullifier in his build. As now it's a little bit awkward to slot this in with the items that he has. Might take a little bit longer to get to. So a little bit unfortunate for them. No nullifier on the side of Woe, and truthfully, Kalmychata, they fumbled that fight pretty significantly. The black hole just wasn't exactly what they wanted. They weren't able to lock down Jeezy. To be honest, I didn't really feel the presence of 2 full rolling thunders from the side of Difference. So, and a timer that they were incredibly strong, they just weren't able to kind of get that for themselves. And I believe Woe, even there at the end, he wasn't in range of his healing ward. He didn't bring it into the range to be healing himself. So just some slight mechanical errors, like, you know, things that are really, really difficult to calculate in this late game, really biting Kalmychata. As now, unfortunately, they are going to give away this Roche, and it's a very significant one. This third Roshan is going to give them access to the Refresher card and the Cheese. I mean, the Cheese, a very significant one with how tanky this lineup is. Refresher could be very, very nice for the likes of somebody like Exantic, and as the game goes on, it actually does get a little bit easier to deal with Black Hole sometimes. In a draft like this, where they do have access to the box, which has not yet been addressed, will soon. But they're soon going to have the ability for a Wind Waker as well for Exantic. I really like this by him. They have all these Abyssal Blades to potentially burst down the Enigma before the Black Hole ever comes out. So the answers to the Black Hole actually kind of growing, surprisingly, as the game goes on. Maybe the Nullifier, I mean, certainly necessary once Exantic does finish this Wind Waker for himself. But they're quite a ways off of it, truthfully. I mean, Woe is wanting to get it, but it has to eat the Ags first. Difference in kind of a similar boat. Unless you just want to kind of sell this Basher, I don't think you should get rid of the Diffusal on the Pangolier. That actually reduces your damage by a very significant amount, and it's one of the few things actually annoying Shad in the later portion of this game, as he is currently on 0 mana, takes quite a bit of damage himself onto Not Me. Didn't know that the Reflected Lotus actually got the Shard, which is a little bit funny. I will say Not Me is quite powerful on this Gyro, truthfully, but fortunately as late in the game it is not able to actually do much with it. But that extra 14 Rocket Barrage damage doubles your damage, or nearly doubles your damage. Not quite, but very, very significant amount to get on that level 20 talent. So Not Me on the Gyro, definitely cooking a little bit. Rare Gods even, he will be close to that Conda. Very, very impactful one, as getting that onto Shad, that is an undispellable break. Not something that you can Lotus off. Not something you can get rid of. They're getting some decent answers soon for Kalmychata. Ones that maybe arguably should have come out earlier in the game. But facing up into a 5k lead, again, virtually nothing at this point in the game.
Yeah, it's all
Mostly
on
that
execution.
Aegis.
And you talk about, you know, the shard on the homing missile. Shad also has his shard. So
Yeah.
I believe the way that works, like Lotus, if you have a shard and there's a shardable spell, it works like that. Is Smoke Up on 4 on the side of Team Public, and they lead with Shad. Of course they do. He's insanely tanky. Black Hole, though, is available. You have all your spells on the side of Kalmychata. As Shad would love to be able to find Anku here, but unfortunately the Goo's not quite going to land. So he's going to be able to get out as this Gyrocopter continues to farm. He's got his Blink ready to go, but it does seem like he wants to go straight into that Nullifier. Find Rare Gods.
Here comes Difference.
Yeah, Difference
has that Nullifier.
Gets on top of this Marcy. There's going to be the Swift Slash taking down this Marcy. No buyback on him. Chad, though, still has this Aegis for another 2 minutes, 45 seconds. And when it really is this Black Hole to kill him, you don't really want to spend that on the Aegis target.
Yeah, you don't want to, but Mangekyo, I mean, trading his life for Rare Gods, who has a buyback, not exactly the ideal trade to get. And I do like this a lot by Difference. His build may be slightly awkward in terms of when he wants to get the Nullifier, but he's just slotting in his boots, which I think is absolutely the correct decision here. So he does have the Nullifier, no buyback, mind you, as that's a pretty significant amount of damage. As Shad
Slash goes
being
down.
a little bit
There's
careful.
going to be the Lotus in response. Oh, that's a bad takes problem. Now the Abyssal as well. Got to be so careful. Sonic Wave.
Ooh,
Black Hole goes
Black
down
Hole.
though, on top
Only the
of
Aegis.
this person trying to buy
Has
the
the pressure.
Backside Omni Slash. The Wind Waker ruins everything here.
Well
and now
done.
Woe is dead. 100 seconds on the deck. Does have buyback. They don't even get this pistol back. It's not me as a very awkward situation. Now, Woe tried to kill the homing rocket that was going to bounce back onto his gyrocopter. And he loses everything for it.
Yeah, Exantic playing that very well. And for some ways, just not willing to commit everything that they had for Kalmychata, so a little bit of a disconnect there. Difference. He still has that refresher though, and Xantic has the BKB.
Onto this Juggernaut as well. Swift Slash, but just blinks on out of here. Pops the BKB so we can Wind Waker
These
away.
cogs.
And these cogs are a problem. Difference. Very awkward spot. Sonic Wave goes down once.
course
Again,
that.
he's got half HP. Pops the refresher. Goes for a second Rolling Thunder. But
Oh
again,
no,
you can't
difference.
kill Shad. Now he's... Oh no, he's clipped. He's rocked into a bad spot. And now he's just got to run. It's just going to be a second set of racks on the side of Team Public. And the buyback on this
A
Juggernaut.
minute on Aegis. They still have so much time to play with this, and Megekyu is finally back. Nullifier as well on the side of him. So he can potentially burst these heroes. No, not me for the moment. I don't think they can stop these Megas from coming down.
Oh, minute on the Omni as well. We do have Black Hole. That was refreshed. I don't know. Team Public knows refreshers there. I don't know if they saw that it was refreshed, though. So the smoke is there. But Megas, they're down. This is now back up against the ropes as we see a bit of an interesting smoke wraparound coming in from Difference in Rare Gods.
No Rolling Thunder.
No Rolling Thunder, not for 13 seconds. It's
Jumps in.
right on top
No,
of him. No bash
no
for the
BKB.
time being. Now it's going to go a little bit for a roll up, trying to buy a little bit more time. 5 seconds until the Rolling Thunders. The Ethereal's trying to buy a little bit of time, a little bit of space. Now the Rolling Thunder moves in. But unfortunately, man, Gekkyu's going to be able to go take down Not Me. And now, well, they back up.
going.
They run away.
No
They're
Aegis.
going to continue to run forward. Looking for the black
Wheel.
hole. Maybe not going to find the wheel. Wonder is so good. And now Shad moves on top. Maybe there's room, though, for a black hole. But he's taking him down. Omni Slash on top of Shad. But he's got the Wind Waker. The Nullifier's not in the fight anymore. And Woe just cannot get the damage he's looking for. He's going to have to run. He's nullified. Turns around, pops the Swift Slash, a little bit more space, but he dies. And this game, Rojo, it's over.
Yeah, and an incredibly crucial one for Team Public to show up here. And, you know, Xantic, I was... Maybe I didn't look at this and think it was the best co-op game myself. I would have been picking it, but he cooked really hard on this co-op here. Have to admit that, I mean, really in that late game, that Wind Waker was extremely crucial. Maybe that lack of Nullifier really biting the side of Kalmychata, and just really coming together on Team Public in the end there. The late game execution was really beautiful, and Kalmychata in some small ways a little bit crumbling under that pressure. Unfortunately, not able to take that one. They had some decent moments, so Team Public maybe should still be concerned that they even had to play that late game position to begin with, but that one blip up in that whole game, I think, is something Team Public is willing to allow if they do end up playing most of the game that consistently and that well.
Yeah, especially if it's like a bounty hunter draft into a, you know, a bounty hunter draft with significant team fight. The world where you kind of go and run into these issues where, like, okay, they had the really good team fight and everyone got tracked and it was like 7,000 gold and the comeback happened. You do have to be careful that doesn't happen, and it didn't. But, you know, you talked about the undispellable break on this conduct. We never got there. Rare Gods never found his way into that, and I can't help but think, man, you just skip the Crimson. It was not a good enough Crimson game. If you can get that Conda up, maybe Shad does die in some of these fights that he might not otherwise have been able to do so. Yeah, Nullifier would have been great. Like, third item Nullifier on this bounty hunter with the money that he had. That would have been fantastic. Juggernaut, maybe. I understand why we got double basher in this game. You know, lock down the Quap as much as possible, but Jug getting Nullifier instead of the basher would have been really solid. There's just way too many ways to break this Omni Slash.
Yeah, I think definitely illegal. I think Kalmychata in some ways, some of their itemization, I think definitely could have used a little bit of improvement. So unfortunately they do. I mean, this game was mostly convincing from Team Public. Kalmychata had some really, really strong moments, but they were able to take this one. And again, if Team Public can win this one, they can push it to tiebreakers. They can push themselves into playoffs. So such a crucial one. But for the time being, we're going to take a little bit less than a 10-minute break as we get ready for that game 2. Team Public, they really want to take this one, Bayo, and we'll be back with you to bring back that excellent Dream League Division 2 action.
What you need ask yourself, am I ready for you? 100% now. I'm ready. 100% now. Yes, I'm ready. Eyes wide open. I'm ready to move. 100% now. Take a chance in a new direction. Any place you wanna go. I don't have all the right answers, but one thing I know, I'm so just longing for a glance from you. Yeah. A chance to look in those big brown eyes. No telling what my heart would do. Hey, when we met, I sure knew it felt as good as it could be. In that moment, though it felt so good, I wondered why you noticed me. If you gave me just a little time, it would sure ease my troubled mind. Don't tell me that you don't feel the same inside. Don't tell me, these are feelings that I ought to hide. I don't care where you came from, just tell me where you wanna go. If there's a chance to be together, that's all I really need to know. Is it real or make believe that keeps me thinking of you? If you've got time to walk with me, I'll show you how my heart is true. And here I stand waiting for you. Tell me, baby, what I gotta do. Don't tell me that you don't feel the same inside. Don't tell me, these are feelings that I ought to.
Welcome back to Dream League Division 2 as Team Public. They sit 1-0 here in their final series in the group stage, unless they win, at which point tiebreakers, they get forced out. We get more Dota in the second half of our broadcast schedule today, which would be incredible. But Rojo, I think we look back at that game number 1 and we just pinpoint a couple things that Kalmychata did wrong and how they played the game, their itemization. But that's also kind of when it's hard to go recover from it. It's not like, oh, we made a bad draft, whatever. But it's, oh, we itemized poorly. We made our rotations were not quite on point. We, try to get a little bit too fancy. And like when you got 8 minutes to go and figure things out, those are the kind of things that take a little bit more time.
Yeah, as we are heading into the second draft here, a very important win for Team Public, because I think this is also a very momentum-based momentum-based matchup, I suppose, between these two teams. Kalmychata is a team where I think they really, really strive on getting those kind of wins. They want to be very aggressive all the time. Specifically, difference from the mid lane, I think he can be a very feast or famine player. I think Xantic can be very feast or famine, and Xantic, he feasted in that last game. He feasted, he beasted, he did all the above. He was really, really, really nice in that second game in the first game on the co-op. Now heading into the second game, as you said, I do think for Kalmychata, it's a little bit difficult to recover some of those kind of hard decisions that they made. Thankfully, itemization is fixable, but that early game, not very much. As mind you, that game was essentially feeling over until they got that one very significant fight from Kalmychata. Just a kind of few missteps from the side of Team Public. And so, getting that first win for Team Public, that's a very great step to sending themselves to tiebreakers. And truthfully, we talked about some of the issues we saw from Kalmychata, but Team Public did just play mostly quite well. Jeezy, I think, on the Ringmaster, he was very quiet, but his performance was extremely solid. He had a ton of impact. It was quiet in the sense that you never really saw him die, and all of his spells were cast pretty much perfectly. And a good Ringmaster, I think you won't notice very much, but will do an incredible amount. Puppy had a great Clockwork game just across the board for Team Public. A very comfortable draft, and again, really only that one slip up. So a very solid start for the squad here as they go straight back into the Marcy for themselves. No reason not to, right?
I will say they're going for it again. Kalmychata saying, it wasn't our draft that was the problem. I was going to say that, okay, well, you pick Marcy, Jakira's not banned, you do leave Marcy, or you do leave Jakira open, but clearly neither of these teams care about it that much into the first phase, which, Marcy and Bounty Hunter are good, but that does surprise me a little bit, Rojo.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't feel that surprised. I think Rare Gods had a great bounty hunter game, and as we mentioned, he was the only one really having a good
10
time, so it didn't
seconds
feel like it was
remaining.
honestly that good of a bounty game. You're only as strong as your strongest hero, right? As bounty hunter,
5
but
seconds
Rare Gods, he
remaining.
loves this hero, and I think it was fine. I think
Dire team
across the
back.
board, Kalmychata's draft was pretty much fine. It came down to a lot of execution. It came down to a ton of early game.
Dire team
And
Radiant
Team Public
team
just
pick.
a little bit favorable in that sense, and they just go straight back for it. Pangolier again on Kalmychata, the salty run back as they call it. Bayo.
Now, it's not going to be a pure salty run back, though. Team Public, they're giving the respect ban to that Enigma. They saw how much damage it was able to do, how
10
impactful it
seconds
was. And,
remaining.
realistically, also, when you pick this Bounty Hunter, you do have to
5
over-index in a
seconds
team fight
remaining.
elsewhere. Because Bounty Hunter offers just about nothing in terms of, like, actual team fight impact. It can go and help you win your team fights more because of track, but it doesn't give you a lot of control, doesn't give you this kind of setup or chain disable that you would generally look for from your supports. So that's why heroes like Enigma, like Pangolier, like a Tide Hunter or something are so impactful. And we're just,
I feel like I've seen
Okay.
this before.
yeah,
I don't know if
it's
the game we watched or something,
about 8
but
minutes ago,
I feel like we've been here before as Team Public. They could pick up the clockwork again for themselves if they
10
wanted.
seconds
It's still
remaining.
on the pool. Kalmychata did not think it was a significant issue enough. I mean, I would
5
maybe
seconds
potentially
remaining.
disagree, as I think Puppy had some really great impact in that game. But I think maybe the biggest question mark in their draft at the point that they did do it was the clockwork, probably. So question for Puppy is, does he want to go for something else? Again, the Ench is still on the table
Dire
if that's something
team
that he wanted to go for. But I like this one as well. I think picking up another core, and especially another core that can flex, I think is probably my preferable to getting Puppy's hero, as Puppy has so many heroes, right? You can just let him cook throughout the rest of the draft. If he needs to play something weird, he'll play something weird. And this Dragon Knight hero, very, very strong.
10
So far,
seconds remaining.
mostly physical damage from the side of Kalmychata. Decently good matchup into the
5
mid for
seconds
Pangolier.
remaining.
Exantic is an incredible Dragon Knight. Shad is an incredible Dragon Knight. So I think this is a very nice pickup for them. Keeps their draft also still open for the time being. And Kalmychata, they got to go back for something different. And this time they're committing to the offlane Pangolier. They're saying difference. We're going to throw you on something a little bit different. No pun intended. Mostly actually intended this time. The Storm Spirit, which I think is nice. I mean, it's going to be good if this is a Xantic mid Dragon Knight. It so far doesn't have a
10
ton of
seconds
broad
remaining.
disable. It has decent magic damage. I actually like it, even though it's
5
revealing this
seconds
Pangolier
remaining.
flex early, which sometimes I'm not a fan of. I think that's okay. Pangolier is really, really strong in the offlane. Give it over to Anku. I'm sure he'll be able to cook. Now they have the 17 pick, very likely a support coming out from the side of Kalmychata. The question is, what does not me want to gravitate towards?
But I will say,
Not the easiest
taking. No, it's not. Talking about Team Public for a second as we talk about the Storm pick, there is a lot of single target disable onto the Storm. You got Dragon Tail, you got Marcy as a follow-up, you got Wheel of Wonder as a follow-up, Tame the Beasts. This is
Radiant
not,
team
I look at Storm games as games where Storm is just,
Yeah,
well,
not that hard.
Jakiro, we talk about not an easy pick. Jakiro somehow finds his way
Yeah,
this deep into
not
the
that
draft.
hard.
I kind of look at this and like a Storm it's a good Storm game if there's just not a lot of disable. And already through 3 picks, there is a decent amount of a significant amount of Storm
10
control on the side of Team
remaining.
Public.
Yeah, but it's all very telegraphed. I think is the big difference.
5
Is
seconds
I mean, the
remaining.
Dragon Knight blink disable is very obnoxious. If you get caught by that on difference, a lot of times you're dead. So in that way, the matchup from Dragon Knight can be a little bit obnoxious, but that's the price you pay. Getting hit by the Tame the Beast, getting hit by the Wonder, any of the Marcy spells is a little bit difficult. Or I mean, they're mostly pretty easy to dodge, I guess, as Storm, as they are very telegraphed. It's really going to be up to the Dragon Knight, which is definitely a scary premise, but I think for a player like Difference, I think Storm is flashy. I think that I like this a little bit more from them, and overall, I enjoy this Storm, and I especially enjoy it, Bayo, paired up with this Jakiro and Bounty Hunter duo. I mean, these two heroes together really have risen in popularity, and I think for good reason. I think everyone's in agreement of how strong they are, but Jakiro in particular, adding in that extra damage into Marcy, Dragon Knight, Ringmaster feels so incredible. And for Team Public, it's rather hard to pick up, I think, a full counter. They're probably debating if they want this Abaddon here. probably, I would say. The Abaddon is very strong as a hero, but I think it's correct not to go towards it. And I think going towards Night Stalker is actually a pretty fun option, but also a pretty strong one for Mangekyo, as getting vision of all these heroes is incredibly nice, and having that extra ability to silence the storm does threaten his game significantly more than it was threatened, even just through the blink.
Yeah, it means Storm needs a BKB, is the long and short of it. Crippling Fear lasts so long, and it's 6 seconds at nighttime. And if you want to be extra spicy, you can go and have permanent Crippling Fear if you want to get the Ags. Not that anyone gets the Ags. But like, if you get on top of the Storm, he needs the BKB. He's got to be able to zip out of there. If he doesn't, then the Wheel of Wonder comes in, then the Tame the Beast, then the Dispose, the Dragon Tail Stun. It becomes unplayable for the Storm. So, you know, Storm in these games, that really does mess with the itemization pathway. You generally you want to go Kaya-san, something like that. You want your Witchblade. You don't really want to have to deviate for the BKB.
Yeah, in this kind of game, I might just go straight up Kaya into BKB. Maybe you want Kaya Sanj into BKB, but super crucial. Force Off's going to be super crucial from Rare Gods and from Not Me. Both of them likely to itemize, I think, for it, and quite annoying for Pango as well. Pango typically this hero that kind of has the free reign in every fight, but getting that extra vision to stop him from engaging is super annoying. The silence can obviously disrupt his kit an incredible amount if he doesn't get that roll off op. And on a Pangolier, you can't really itemize the deal with Night Stalker, to be honest. You don't have much, you don't have much realty in the build. You can't go for a Force Staff realistically. It's a very hard item to fit into your build with Pango without losing significant damage. Really, your best option is just kind of go blink and hope that the Night Stalker doesn't find you, or go roll up and hope that you can get that ulti off in time. So, a very nice pick for Night Stalker, or for Team Public, and it's honestly not the worst matchup into Jakiro either. Night Stalker, a very weak laner, but being able to start at nighttime means that you're relatively fast enough usually to get out of the clutches of Jakiro. Later in the game pose a very significant threat, as Team Public, they could be looking for a Xantix hero here, is what Kalmychata thinks. They ban out Xantix Leshrac, they ban out his Quap.
5 seconds remaining.
I'm not necessarily entirely... I mean, I guess I could definitely see it. Shad just being on Dragonite and this just being a support Marcy. They have a lot of directions to go on Team Public, and truthfully, I'm not sure which one is the best for them. Probably Shad Dragonite is perfectly fine, in which case you would be looking, I suppose, for this Xantic hero. He's been playing a ton of Ember. I think Ember looks okay here if you wanted it, but a little bit spicier. He ends up going for a Zeus, so really doubling down on the vision here.
Is this him going for Zeus? Is this carry Mercy mid DK? Because I feel like it's, Xantic is a great Dragon Knight. Like when I think of Xantic, I think of his DK. Yeah. And then support Zeus.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I suppose that is, so it looks like it will be. She had Xantic the Dragon Knight and Puppy on the Zeus. So, yeah, very interesting, actually. I guess Puppy not wanting to go for the Marcy himself. I think this maybe becomes... I don't love it necessarily. I think that potentially the Zeus Marcy into Pango could be awkward, but maybe if you can dispose the double jump... if you can dispose the double jump, I think that you're pretty happy as Shad, which isn't necessarily always hard to do, but not having that extra base armor that Xantic, or that the Dragon Knight would have, giving Xantic this matchup, the Storm versus DK, which can be a very volatile one. I think it gives them a little bit of I guess, less reliability. But as you said, Xantic, he's a very, very good Dragon Knight, and overall, I think this draft from Team Public is still quite strong. I'd give Kalmychata maybe equal, if not better, chances from their last game, but particularly for me, the biggest worry is this Mangekyo Night Stalker, as I think he'll probably have a field day if he can get out of this laning phase decently, get to that Helm Dom at a reasonable time. And truthfully, I don't see why, it is Jakiro Ursa, an incredibly potent lane, but in that first 5 minutes, I do think that extra movement speed will help you maneuver a lot, and potentially some dragging of waves coming out from GZ if he can get into the opportunity. So we'll have to see how it does play out in the early game. Of course, so crucial in that previous game, but I like Kalmychata's draft. It's just... personally, every time that I see Night Stalker, I just get a little bit of PTSD, as I personally hate playing against this hero, and I think that's kind of a sentiment that transcends every bracket in Dota.
Yeah, I hate playing against it. I also hate playing it. It's not the most fun. You can kind of have some really bad lane matchups. But going back to like this draft as a whole, I I like putting DK mid, not just because, oh, great, you know, it's an Xantic hero and whatever, but it means that you're getting a little bit more active. As Rare Gods went a little bit further forward, breaks the smoke on a lot of these heroes as he moves up onto the high ground.
Rare Gods is really tempting them.
He is. And they would really. Oh, there we go. They're maybe going to find Puppy. Whoa, we'll see him.
This is Impalement Arts. Oh, they might get a kill here. Xantic is the best one.
Yeah, they're going to get right on top of him. There's going to be the Blood Grade body blocking him in place. And Xantic will just die. Yeah, not even with the dispose. It's not going to be enough. So, Jakiro, definitely a hero that you don't mind getting a little extra net worth on as they try to snipe out Rare Gods at the end. But, you know, I was talking about how I liked this DK in mid because it's just, this is a hero that you just kind of rush blink on. It unlocks this kind of 4-man kill combo in a way that a safe lane Dragon Knight would not. In fact, like, carry Marcy, mid lane DK, it's a draft that can play very, very fast. So anything you can do to slow him down, to speed up the side of Kalmychata is incredibly impactful. And by the way, not only do they get first blood, they get 3 bounty runes as well.
Rare Gods. Rare Gods pays for his transgressions. So unfortunately, there is a little bit of extra vision coming out from Puppy. That sentry was down as well as getting that lightning bolt. So they get a nice pickup actually for Shad. That's a pretty decent bit of change into his pocket. But as you said, getting that first blood onto Jakiro, honestly, this is probably one of the worst case scenarios, I think. I almost think Not Me is a better first blood target than the Storm Spirit, actually. As getting that extra net worth on Jakiro, this lane is going to feel a lot more difficult off the back of it. But I can certainly agree. I do like the DK for Xantic. I just think against difference, you're dicing the lane a little bit. As not always the most cut and dry one, this Dragon Knight versus Storm Spirit. That early magic damage can actually threaten a Dragon Knight in the way that almost no other hero can, as well as that really nice attack animation. So it's just going to be a game of CS so far. Difference doing really well for himself across the board. Quite a bit of mana used so far by Puppy, but I really like this on his Zeus. He realizes particularly that they have a pretty difficult time canceling his clarities, so he's bought 2 of them in this bot side. Going to get a ton of value out of that.
Buy 2 mangoes, bunch of mangoes, bunch of clarities. Don't have any net worth, but just do a lot of damage just with your levels. Is decent laning from Mangekyou thus far. You know, we talked about the problem of Jakiro. At least for now, the wave is in a decent spot. They're able to get it separated, and this is when it's kind of okay, but even still, you know, being able to go and at least get some CS out of this, into this Ursa Jakiro lane is anything you can get. Anything you can get into that Helm of the Iron Will is just so important. It's just not a fun lane.
Quite nice. And even getting to having that ability to get the second point in 100 in the night gives you a huge increase in movement speed, an extra 12% off that at the level 0 essentially to the level 1 there. Is really quite nice. So Mangekyou, in this early nighttime, he is going to have a perfectly good time. Question is when it's going to heat up once it gets out of the nighttime, but so far, if you can get into that Helm of the Iron Will, you can chill a little bit at nighttime. So far, that first blood not playing necessarily the biggest role, as Jakiro, incredibly OP hero. Mind you, no reason to mince words. It takes a lot of damage. Not necessarily the strongest at level 2. Level 3 is really when this hero starts to take. So for the time being, relatively passive. And Shad, he was looking onto Anku here. He's been canceling the dispose a lot. I've been watching this little mind game of canceling the shield crash. It's not necessarily easy to do, but sometimes you got to pre-cast it. Again, a little bit of a mind game on canceling this shield crash with dispose. Not an easy thing to do, but something that you would really like to do. Bodyguard. Oh no.
Yeah, Bodyguard gets popped, dispose as well, and now straight on top of Anku. Do we have the damage? Not quite, I don't think, but it is a decent amount. It's not Puppy. Totally out of mana, no heavenly jump available. 60 seconds anyways. Pops a mango, but yeah, no, the double jump from Anku means that he just does not take damage, and that could be the problem with Zeus. You're out of position a little bit, you get brought in by Shad, and certainly with heavenly jump still on cooldown even as he's dead, you just no way out.
Yeah, at least you get a full trip to base. Sometimes that's nice as Zeus, is you gotta go spam the lightning bolts again, but a lot of gold committed actually into regen on both sides, and doesn't pay off for Mangekyou and Jeezy as they actually do get this kill, the level 3 timing, extra gold in Not Me's pockets, and they're gonna get Jeezy as well. A double kill for the Ursa before it even takes to daytime here, Bayo. Uh-oh.
And this is a very good Ursa game, all things considered. It's a bunch of melee
Every game.
heroes. It's a bunch of like relatively tanky heroes. Ursa loves that. You just build up Furious Swipe stack to do even more damage. This is potentially a problem. Now we're going to go on top of Rare Gods. There's the Dispose and Heavenly Jump
Got
in.
it.
So they kill off Rare Gods, and it looks like they're not going to get punished too much by the Centaur. So that's going to be fine. But Anku, he's having a great time. You know, realistically, he's level 4. Not getting a ton of CS is the one downside. That is a bit of a problem, but he's getting his levels, and that first level 6 Rolling Thunder is going to be decently impactful.
Yeah, I mean, having this extra shield crash, so nice as well. Taking some decent damage from Bodyguard as they go back onto Rare Gods, but no vision quite up, so losing some of that efficiency from the Bodyguard. Still ultimately fine for Chad. He got into this Helm of the Iron Will that unfortunately Mangekyu has not gotten the chance to. So he should be quite decent into this Pango. Maybe not the same armor as the Dragon Knight would have, but getting towards that Helm of the Iron Will certainly allow you to replicate it at least a little bit. Check on the mid lane really quick. So far it has been difference. That early kind of death punishing Xantic just a little bit, as he hasn't been able to find a lead over the Storm Spirit. And it's now 5-12 here, Bayo. Give it about another 2 seconds here. Just about then.
Dire's courier
And it's now
has been
daytime for this Night Stalker. I know you said that you hate playing Night Stalker. I'm sure that you would really hate to play Day Stalker as GZ. Rare Gods is here as well. Another kill.
That was you know, that's worth it. Realistically, that was a spicy courier to kill. That was the face boots. So you do have the boots of speed, but for the next minute or so, this is going to be a Night Stalker that is not going to get run down by face boots. So that is something that should enable him to be a little bit happier. Maybe that buys the time for this Helm Dom, sitting about 500, 600 gold away.
Probably
Nah, not quite enough. We're at the point, like, when you're the offlaner in this situation, and at least the pole camp is blocked, but you don't get creeps at this point. Approaching the wave is like nigh impossible.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I mean, phase boots or not, I think WoW, with the likes of a Jakiro, might as well have a built-in, 2 or 3 phase boots. The Jakiro, of course, adding so much to him. So even the courier death, it's only about a minute or so. So unfortunately, yeah, Mangekyu, he won't be able to utilize that timing that GZ found as Rare Gods. He sticks around in this top side a little bit longer. He realizes Anku, level 5 now, with the 3 points of the shield crash. He has to misplay at least a little bit to die on this Pangolier. This double jump facet is so ridiculous, and that's why they're going to put their attention elsewhere on the map. And Xantic, he's taken over to that level 6 with the catapult. GZ comes over to side and pressure it a little bit, but Xantic going to take some decent damage. There's no electric vortex, has a 20 wand, so he'll be fine.
Yeah, and the Impalement Arts actually slows down difference a little bit as well. Long range from this Ringmaster. But it just feels awkward. And yes, we are hitting minute 7. Wisdom Shrine does go to this Night Stalker, so he's not that far away from his level 6.
Yeah,
he's going to get this creep wave right under tower. It's not going to be quite enough to get the Helm of the Iron Will or to the Helm Dom, especially if he misses some CS. But that level 6 timing, even with no items, it still does give you some potential on a rotation.
Yeah, I mean, definitely nice to get that Wisdom Shrine. I think it's pretty necessary to give it over to Mangekyu, as and the Night Stalker is such a menace in this game, but this is a lot of times when you see Night Stalker and it doesn't look good, this is what happens in the early game portion for it. So Mangekyu, he's at least doing a good job of being very reserved before he hits that level 6. Even when he does hit level 6, he can still die, mind you, from that extra damage coming out from Jakiro, but will be much safer. Even has the potential maybe to rotate somewhere. Sometimes you'll see that from the Night Stalkers. As 8-minute runes are coming up, a lot of emphasis on the mid lane for the side of Team Public, but Difference gets it anyway. So now they're overloading this bot side. They still get the rune mid. They completely gave Mangekyu the top lane, as they're going to bring over, well, it seems like WoW will go back. I think a reasonable reaction, but this is the other thing about Jakiro, Bayo, is, I mean, yeah, this hero does insane damage. Yeah, it always secures the lane, but it starts killing towers extremely early in the game, and it's a smoke up from the side of Team Public to try and prevent this, but actually reading it quite well so far.
Tries to find this Jakiro. Not going to be able to do so for the time being. There's going to be the Dispose into the end least, but Ice Path by his face, and now Rolling Thunder's ready. Oh, no, it's not. They burst him down. And now trying to find Rare Gods. He's not dusted up.
Difference here.
Will have a lightning bolt. Finding Rare Gods a little bit more. Difference though.
Good electric
Gets
bolt.
on top of Shad, but the lifesteal is really strong.
The Shroud.
And they take down 4 already. There's gonna be the stun looking for a little bit more dispose. As we talked about this Dragon Knight from Exantic, how good I think it is. Well, he just got a triple kill on this rotation. He is realistically the entirety of Team Public right back into this game.
Yeah, and I mean, make no mistake, that was a lot of what Shad was doing there. Is he had that ice armor creep to keep him alive a little longer, but really just nicely played, and that damage between Unleash and the Bodyguard, not something that Anku can withstand. So gonna minimize that Rolling Thunder time, gonna keep the tower alive, gonna finish Exantic's Blink. A perfect sequence of events of Team Public as the early game was awkward. They even killed Woe on that top side as differences here, but Shad also onto Woe. There's no Enrage for the time being. Decent ice path.
No Unleash as well. Not for
Something in on
23.
Exantic with here.
Radiant's bottom
Different.
has fallen.
It's all 5 heroes and
on
on to Woe.
actually. Enrage
No,
is
Enrage?
available. No, it's not. Not at all. He doesn't get it off in
It was.
time.
He
And
just didn't press it, yeah.
yeah,
and that
it's
means-
very, very thin margins between the stuns, but yeah, just not able to get it off in time. And now Not Me's here, but it's
Nighttime.
nighttime. Now there's a problem. Ice Path's gonna go down, but the stun's up in time, and now Shad moves on top. It's another kill for Exantic. With this Blink Dagger has just broken the entire map.
Yeah, I mean, really well played as well by Shad. I mean, making the effort to go towards the top
Puppy.
side. He killed Puppy. We'll give away a track kill to Rare Gods.
Trying
Look,
to
I
get on top. Wait,
Shad
wait a minute. Shield
again.
Rune, enough space difference is gonna have to zip on out of here, but Shad's
Jeez.
he's got no dust, so not gonna be able to go get the. That was if Storm Spirit doesn't have the shield rune, that is a dead storm.
Dire's
Yeah,
middle tower
I mean,
is under
Shad
attack.
doing so much in this early game. A very active Marcy. 2-0 and 6. He's been a part of the 8 kills, or part of the 9. He's been a part of 8 kills of the 9 on the side of Team Public. So really, really cooking. And that means that, I mean, Puppy, he's gotten to a relatively early 6. Jeezy is just about to get there himself. A little bit of extra vision coming out as well to get that Observer Ward mid from Puppy. So, I mean, it was looking like an incredibly awkward early game from the side of Team Public, and just that smoke kink into the bot side gave them so much. Now they're at about a 2k lead. Mangeku's now into nighttime with that Helm Dom level 8 now for himself. So he's recovered off the back of that. The rest of the teams accelerated themselves as Xantic is even looking for an Orchid next. And really, really good stuff from Team Public.
They would love to be able to go get Shad on the bottom side. They moved 4 heroes over here to try to make that happen. But he's playing very safe. Under tower, letting his Helm Dom creep do the farming. So instead, they're rotating around mid a little bit, trying to take advantage of this Bounty Hunter vision. But there's no one really showing in an attackable position. Yes, Exantic's under the tower, but that's not an easy kill. So Puppy,
Radiant
he's going up on the high ground, but there's going to be the Hunter
got
of the
the
Night
vision.
getting on top of Not Be. The vision's fantastic. Now,
rolls.
Ice Path is really nice. Rolling Thunder not doing a lot. And now
Not
trying to
doing
find a
anything.
little bit more.
Not
Everyone
me.
TP's out. It's a dead Jakiro. Rare God should be able to run. Storm Spirit just TP'd on out. So, that is a big cooldown on this Dark Ascension.
Radiant's top
But,
tower
I mean, if
is
they can
under
find
attack.
Anku under the tier 2,
Not quite. But they are, I mean, they are looking.
well, I mean, you say that, pops the void, but not going to quite commit.
Yeah. Probably smart just not to give that one up, as they're building a very significant lead here for Team Public. And I mean, you know, it is only a Jakiro kill, but they're actually looking towards top. They're on to Woe. He doesn't quite see the Night Stalker. Night Stalker sees him. Has Enrage available. Holding that stun.
Radiant's top tower
There's
is
going to be the
under attack.
void, the silence as well. This lasts 6, well, maybe not 6 seconds just yet. It lasts a long time. So he's going to be able to go click him down. Turns a little bit, though, on the overpower. Whoa. Puppy just killed.
Yep. First damage from this level 7 Zeus panning out in fours. Okay, they do spot
Radiant's
Shad on the
middle
spot side of the
tower is
map.
under attack.
I mean, if not me can get onto him, it's decent damage. They really would love to find this, and nobody's actually coming through the gate, so Shad is fully alone. Oh, but they don't want to commit. Oh, okay, they are coming through the gate. I couldn't quite hear the sound. But looks like Xantic and Puppy, they'll be here to bodyguard Shad. Ironically, usually the job of the Marcy, but this time being a little bit protected on his way to the BKB. So some very, very good stuff by Team Public, really covering themselves nicely, and they prevented a lot of what Bounty Hunter Jakiro would love to do in this first portion of the game. not only are they putting themselves at a
Radiant
lead,
are
but
scanning.
taking away the ability for the Shakir to start liquid firing this mid lane. You know, being
Dire's
pressured by the
bottom
constant
tower is
threat
under
of the Night
attack.
Stalker, stopping Woe from getting his early Battle Fury. Really good stuff by Team Public, and they're gonna silence Difference. He's in no man's land.
Do we have any follow-up?
Dead.
Shad gets on top of him. He's dead. And I was gonna say, well, okay, Elder Dragon form is on cooldown. Maybe that's something they can take advantage of, but this Storm Spirit is not allowed to play the game. This Night Stalker pick is so impactful. Now we're gonna find Not Me as well. Wheel of Wonder. He's not
no.
even level 6. It's 14 minutes in, and he dies again as they're gonna go find Anku as well, looking for the stun.
Oh,
And
no.
there it is. And Puppy chaining the damage together a little bit more. Rolling
And Lightning
Thunder
Bolt.
thinks about it, but gets canceled by the Lightning Bolt. So he dies as well. And now, hey, it's okay. At the very least, the Shrine of Wisdom did go. Wait, actually, who got the Shrine of Wisdom? I'm trying to find it. Jeezy got one of them.
Yeah.
Who got the other one?
I don't actually know. Should be.
Oh no, it's just not taking it. Okay, so Jeezy got the aggressive
Yeah.
one.
Dire's
It just
bottom
wasn't
Yeah,
showing
it's
on my
back
mini
there.
map on the other way. So
Yeah. So GD did steal away one, which feels quite nice for the side of them. As yeah, Team Public really well done so far in this early game. I mean, they now have an Orchid on
Dire's
Azantic, by the way.
bottom tower is
Crazy
under
early
attack.
timing from him, and an incredible item in this game. Every hero on the team hates playing against Orchid. Maybe Bounty Hunter the least of them, but outside of that, this is a really easy potential to execute onto any hero. That extra second of silence. They're gonna go even without Mangeky's Nighttime, but there's an Ascension. Yeah, it's just easy.
this is we were talking about this by putting this DK mid, by having this carry Marcy.
Dire's bottom
This
tower
is a lineup that can play so incredibly fast, even with Elder Dragon form down.
Dire's
Doesn't really matter.
structures are
You got the
fortified.
blink, you have Marcy, who just is very happy to play around his Helm Dom timing. That's pretty much the only item he needs. There's Night Stalker as well. So this is a lineup that, yeah, I think eventually maybe Kalmychata scales a little bit better, you know, with Storm Spirit, with Ursa, but they are just not being given the time.
Yeah, they just haven't found anything out of this early game that they really would ideally want to. Gods, not really any track kills to speak of, not any towers to speak of for this Shakiro.
Dire's bottom tower
No extra
is under
kills
attack.
with that damage, no extra kill, no galvanized on the Storm. He has 0 galvanized stacks for difference, so has really fallen quite far behind, especially where Azantic is, and no response to that
Radiant's
Orchid
top
coming
tower
out.
is under attack.
They see Mangekyou, so they should get this kill. Should.
You would think
Do.
they will be able to do so, but now Azantic and Shatter here. It is a silence
a
on
stun.
this Storm Spirit. There's the stun as well into the no dispose, not quite. So difference is going to be able to zip zap on out of here.
Oh
TP,
my
no, he's going to rebound right on top of him, take him down, and Shad is just everyone's running this game.
Yeah, Team Public doing such a good job. I mean, I would say typically you want to play through this Pango with Diffusal. They haven't really made any moves as a team on the side of Kalmychata, just kind of falling apart so far in this game to the aggression from Team Public, and even Azantic, he's just moving further and further forward as the follow up.
Orchid ready to go. Wheel of Wonder as well. Additional damage moving in, and he's going to die to the Orchid burn. Wow. Rojo, where was this Team Public the rest of the group stage?
Well, you know, they've been here. They just haven't been able to get that third game. But thankfully for the side of Team Public, they don't have to go to game 3 as what it's looking to be, as even Not Me walks into position, try and pressure this Roshan a little bit too far out to be certain, as will go down. They do find Jeezy, so at least a nice pickup for the side of the Ursa, who's finally finished the blink, but it's actually, they're a little bit scared of finishing the Roshan, so they'll smoke up immediately. Could have finished it. We know they could have finished it, but they were a little bit scared of Woe and Difference coming through. But now they should have safety, at least in. There's a blink now on Mangekyou, has that Dark Ascension available when he wants it. Amplified damage is even on the top side, so they won't actually look towards this Rosh. And they should know soon on Kalmychata, since there's no Roshan falling, but Woe, it's a pretty fast move.
Whoa. Oh, missed the blink.
It's the wrong
Wrong
way.
direction. But now we're going to see the Dark Ascension moving in, trying to find Woe. They're not
Ooh.
going to get him. And Storm Spirit's going to be able to get out in time. So
Good
that's a
looking.
couple big cooldowns in Thunder God's Wrath and Dark Ascension. And, hey, the same damage rune that are really going to come to not a lot of fruition. They might be able to get the tier 2, Actually, Night Stalker, TP's bottom side here, looking for maybe a pick off on top of Anku, but the rest of the team a little bit slow to join. So that doesn't really seem like they're going to be able to find what they're looking for.
Under attack.
And that means for the next minute, there's no nighttime. I think if there's a time to make a move for the side of Kalmychata, now is certainly the time. They'll smoke up for the first time with this Pangolier Diffusal, but Team Public, they're going to be aware that this is what they want. They still have the Thunder God's Wrath available. If they need it, they can smoke or they can detect any type of smoke if they want to. They just need to have that kind of brief intuition. It makes roshing also that much harder as that vision will be available, but no dragon form. It's only BKB on Shad. I still think this fight is incredibly hard, but it's the best one I think Kalmychata are going to get.
Okay, so Enraged is spent as Shad belly flops, backflips into the pit, and Thunder God's Wrath goes down. That's going to be just a dead Jakiro off from Xantic. So now it's power play, 5-on-4s. They try to find rear gods, not going to be able to do so. We should point out, by the way, that the vessel is finally done on this bounty, which is just so fantastic. Into both this Marcy, who wants to heal up off the bodyguard, into this Dragon Knight as well. All things being equal, this Roshan is going to go down very fast to the Unleash of Shad.
Yeah. The Spirit Vessel, very nice, but so late in the game. And truthfully, they just haven't made any moves as a team for Kalmychata. Been kind of pick off after pick off, and maybe slightly uncharacteristic of them. It's an unfortunate set of events. Team Public really looking to take themselves into tiebreakers. They keep playing like they have all day. They have a decent chance of actually propelling themselves into playoffs, despite their ugly early portion of DreamLeague Division 2, and so far looking really revitalized in these two games. Just very consistent moves around the map, playing together quite nicely. The drafts are interesting, but still have a lot of viability to them from Puppy. As this Zeus, it's a pretty annoying hero to play against. You know, not everybody's willing to pick up a Zeus 5. A lot of times, I'm personally not the biggest fan of it, but in this game, honestly, he's been doing a lot. Just, I mean, providing that constant vision. Both annoying for rare gods, but it limits their ability to make any moves, period. Having no vision, but also being able to get that Thunder God's Wrath. It's an annoying hero to play from. When you're behind against a Zeus and against a Night Stalker, that can be really, really tough.
Oh, Jesus is gonna get fat. He's level 10 to the level 7 as a tonic Jakiro. He's gonna be strongman tonic. He's totally fine. And now this Jakiro, this power pick we were talking about, just gonna get taken down. Nothing you can do. And now Rare Gods really wants this. He would love to be able to go get Jeezy. Cancels the TP. That's a big kill. 400, 600 gold to the side of Kalmychata. Track gold as well, but Puppy sees Rare Gods here. He's up 2 levels on Rare Gods, having to jump forward, and that TP is not going to happen. So, yeah, he bought Lightning Hands. The shard went over to Jeezy, so...
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, he bought it. Puppy is, what a beast. I was wondering how he got it I mean, he's just gotten a ton of net worth, I guess. He's been farming quite well, and all these observers he's been picking up, Bayo, he is, I mean, a really, really far in position 5.
Yep, he is less than 1,000 gold away from this Ags, which is just so impactful into fights. But, you know, you're talking about this Lightning Hands. I feel like I'm seeing support Zeus as oh no, Jakiro's going to get taken down once again. Chad and Mangekyu just working together. Not a lot that he can do, but I feel like I'm seeing more and more of this kind of shard Zeus as support. Because it lets you farm without spending mana, which is just because, you know, in the fight you want to go into fight full mana and just dump it all into the fight and be fine. So just getting that farm a little bit more on a hero that is just so impactful with even just a couple items, it feels really good.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of viability to the Zeus, and the build will only open up after he gets his Ags. Some Zeus is like going straight towards that refresher. Something like a Conda this game. I don't know if they'll get to the point in the game where Puppy can afford a thing like Conda, but would be incredibly strong in a game like this. So always something to watch out for. And on the opposite side of the map, or on the opposite side of the spectrum, I suppose, it's Anku and Difference are really struggling on these cores. Not honestly too shy of where Puppy is in net worth, about 2,000 gold between them. And Difference, he's not opted to go for a BKB yet. Which maybe given how the game is going, he needs his extra farm speed, Bayo, but it's going to be quite a while, about 3,000 gold or so before he finishes it. It's still Aegis, it's still BKB on the side of Shad. It's BKB now finished for Mangekyu. Going to be that Ags and just about 500 gold. Another BKB as well on Xantic. So not only are they 6k gold ahead, but they're hitting their timings completely in stride. And the only hero with any other pace to slightly match it, the only reason this lead is 7k, not 10k, 11k, 12k or more, is because Woe is having a pretty good Ursa game. And he's the only person on Kalmychata that is even kind of holding this game by a linchpin.
It's a good, he's having a good Ursa game, and just overall it's a good Ursa game. As now Woe has to run a little bit. Ice Path buys the space. He's level 17. He's got his BKB. He's going to have a basher reasonably soon. But if he can start to get on top of these heroes with the Enrage, he can do a lot of work, especially with the rolling thunder running through the backline, like getting on top of
a lot of damage
right now, but not going to be enough. Not for the time being. Pop for the BKB continues to try to click down this Night Stalker, but they can't stay on top of him. As the Aegis now has been spent, and Xantic on the backside has this BKB ready to go. Clicks down, not me. Yeah, that's just not going to be enough. Your chat is godlike as Anku just has to run. It really does feel that this Ursa, as good of a game as he has.
Oh no,
this is the problem we're talking about. Difference going to get taken down as well. Maybe.
Oh.
Yeah, he's no zips out. He's going to be. No, he's going to go down. Burn down. That is 4 dead. Onto the side of Kalmychata. They do go and they do get the Night Stalker, but whenever Ursa goes in, everyone has to go in. You need the rolling thunder through the back lines. Ursa without this basher cannot stick on top of heroes.
No, it is, I mean, it's very tough going. I mean, I think that opportunity was really good for them, and Kalmychata, it's just a, you know, kind of just a byproduct of them being so far behind. They don't lose the tier 2, at least, I suppose, in the mid lane, but they lose so much net worth off the back of it. Puppey now finishing the Ags. He kind of saved their ass there, to be honest. With the extra damage coming in, the extra vision coming in from Puppey, meant that that fight was decently fine with the Xantic in the position he was, but Puppey, that's actually a lot of gold for Woe. That's a track kill as well. So, of course, as soon as I praise him, he's got to walk into a position and immediately die under a ward with no one around him. Puppey, you know, he has, you know, he's getting older up there. Maybe a lapse of memory or so, Bayo. But overall, still doing incredibly well on the Zeus, even if he resembles that hero a little bit in age.
And I like this smoke up as well. Puppey's dead. That vision hero's gone, so they don't necessarily know that smoke is happening. They'd love to get Mangekyu in the daytime. This would be a deep wrap if they're able to find him. Actually, that's a fantastic scan.
Night Stalker has no...
But they're still going to get on top. Nope, he's dead. And that's another track kill. So these moves, especially, I mean, it is a kill onto Not Me, but you know, that gets him into his Ghost Scepter that much quicker. The important thing here is they're getting these track kills, and that
and they're getting any kills. Important thing for the side of Kalmychata, as this game again not favoring them by any means, but buying a little bit of extra space is really nice. And you know, killing off Puppey, yeah, he is just the support. He is only the position 5, but he's been the one who's giving them insane amounts of vision. He's been the one who's been playing really forward and getting a ton of farms. So a death timer on him is very significant. It is incredibly important to get them slowly crawling back into this game as well. He's level 19, and mind you, as you were saying, you know, it is a very good Ursa game. I think every game's kind of a good Ursa game, but it is this carry-to-carry matchup that can be quite difficult for Marcy. And Chad has opted to go for an Aghanims, which doesn't help very much in that matchup, but they're smoked up. This is hard to predict.
There gets the stun on top of this Ursa. Time for the BKB? No time at all. And on the backside, Mangekyu's just going to find this bounty hunter as well. Ursa, here's the problem, right? Even if you get the eggs as Ursa, you're still going to get silenced. You have no way. You got to hope that, A, you're quick on your fingers enough to go and get the enrage off as the blink comes in. But once that stun comes in, you will get silenced. You got to rely on your team to keep you safe. And the problem is the Ursa's the only one that's having a good game. So it's not really like your team can bail you out of these situations.
No, not at all. I mean, Xantic, that's a little bit deep. Thankfully, the Rolling Thunder intercepts, as I don't think he was going to get punished otherwise. Right, that kill from Not Me seems somewhat likely. Did finish the Ghost Scepter. Oh, where's that Not Me? Oh, that Dragon Tail was fast.
That's not what you're looking for. Does have the BKB, though. We'll be able to find his way out of here for now. And Wheel of Wonder used to no avail. We do have the well, whatever it's called. Zeus Ags going down as well. The Nimbus dropping. So some cooldowns being spent, certainly. The big news, though, they didn't get the tower. And it did feel like without that Ursa there, that was going to be nearly an eventuality.
Yeah, scary little move from the side of Team Public, but it does put them back into lead that they were building for themselves as another smoke up comes out from the side of Kalmychata. I do like that they're willing to make moves. 10 seconds left for the BKB on Woe. No nighttime available for Mangekyu, and mind you, Night Stalker is a hero with not only the increased night vision, but of course decreased day vision. So for Mangekyu, he's not willing to die in the same spot that he did before. He's walking straight into the base, and a very reserved positioning from the side of Team Public definitely is necessary for this time, as Rare Gods, he'll get a decent bit of information. These moments are very key to not press the track, to not give away where you are, but they're setting up. Good smoke from the Radiant is immediately punished, and they're on to him.
Getting right on top of this Ursa, but has the time to turn. Pops the BKB, gets on top of Advantage. But because there's no dispel, that box finds so much space, and now Mangekyu. Now the BKB's done. They're straight on top of this Ursa, trying to turn on top, trying to get a little bit more damage done, but no overpower time. And it's just a dead Ursa, a dead Pangolier, a dead Jakiro. They're all falling down as they got a little bit too big for their britches. They can play defensive fights, they can find pickoffs, but these kind of set piece fights into towers, they are way too far behind to make that happen.
Yeah, really difficult to play into this Night Stalker, truly. Yet Mangekyu is having an incredible game on the Night Stalker, and I mean, as well, the Zeus just adding on top of it. Puppy doesn't even have to be anywhere near the fight to contribute so much. That scan, extremely clutch. The Nimbus forcing out so much, and as you mentioned, you did like the Dragonite this game, and I mean, especially an Atlantic Dragonite. Very comfortable on this hero, but he's been incredibly fast on these Dragon Tails. Dragonite maybe not renowned for being the most mechanical hero, but even I'm slightly impressed by the reaction speed to get off some of these abilities, as they're going to look to go a little bit deep. The Ghost Stepper keeping him alive for a moment, so won't die on Not Me again, but will lose the melee barracks regardless, as the ability for Kalmychata to fight, as you said, in a 5v5, it just does not feel like it's there, and even in these pickoffs, that hasn't been enough to set them into any kind of decent position for themselves. Difference in Woe, still relatively farmed on these cores, but the supporting cast is struggling so much into the rest of this lineup, and even killing these heroes, Xantic, 3000 HP, a Hurricane Pike, and a Shield Rune to boot. Well, you're never killing this guy.
Nope. Maybe next game you can try. What I think is really funny, though, is if you take a look at what Gaben says about this, Dota Plus, it's still only about 70-30, maybe even a little bit less. As it's giving, now it's okay, 75-25, that's a little bit better, but it's giving a lot of credit to this draft on the side of Kalmychata, the power of this Ursa. Now, I'm not sure that I believe that. I think 15,000 net worth, an Aegis, set of racks down, is enough to overcome any kind of draft inequities that exist as this game goes later, but kind of surprised it's giving Kalmychata as much respect as it is.
I think a few minutes ago it probably was about where Dota Plus said, maybe a little bit worse for sure, but they had some fighting chance, I think, at Kalmychata, but that's just been ticking. The time bomb has been going further and further forward, as now with the rest of this Aegis in tow, it's going to be about 4.5 minutes they have. Pressure onto the high ground. Shad did get that Ags, but still has the BKB now, and the Bash are perfectly where he wants to be in terms of items. Mangekyu, mind you, finished the Nullifier, so not only is that an incredible amount of damage, or an incredible amount of damage and potential to kill the supports, it's a very good defensive item even into her. So whoa, he's gonna have to pop that Enrage for damage if he ever gets Nullified. Anku can't get that shield up for himself. It's an incredible Nullifier for a game for Mangekyu, and last game Kalmychata, they were a little bit overzealous, didn't finish the Nullifiers for themselves at the time we thought they needed, but in this game, Mangekyu, he wastes no time to get it on this Night Stalker, and I think it's really going to help them get any of these fights to play. Shout out with the Thunder God's Wrath. Some of it is nice to just have that kind of reliable sense of where the enemy team is, and Beelmolf, it doesn't give that much vision, it doesn't give that much information, as the only thing that you figure out is that Kalmychata is still stuck in their base.
It's nice, though, to see if they're smoking, is really the big thing. If you feel like you're kind of getting wrapped around, something to worry about. But you talk about this Nullifier coming out. The Nullifier is out before the Force Staff is out. So there is no way, there's going to be no way to buy space. Once this Night Stalker is on with the Crippling Fear, you're not getting away. Yes, Ursa, Storm Spirit, they do have their BKBs, but it's an 8-second BKB on the Storm. It's a 6-second BKB on this Ursa. There's a lot of pressure on these 6-second windows for Ursa to get a kill to be able to really start to cause problems, because otherwise you're going to get nullified, you're going to get crippling feared, you're not getting your rage off, you're not getting overpower stacks going, and they're going to find, well, Pops the BKB just has to keep you on out of here. Now, that's a long cooldown where they can try to find where they can start to maybe go high ground again.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, not the worst case scenario. I think at least Woe gets out there, as it was rather scary. But yeah, again, the BKB going down, only 6 seconds on Woe, as you mentioned, does feel quite bad for him, as they will look to poke this high ground. Shad wasting no time, as he shouldn't. Still a little bit of Dark Inception left, so not me. Not feeling himself.
Actually,
living.
Somehow surviving a little bit longer than we expected, but now on top of the Storm Spirit, pops the BKB, he's gonna get bashed! He's dead, but Shad very deep into this fight, bathing in the macro fire under the tier 4s, but the box is gonna keep him safe for now. They will be able to go get Mengekyu. Person now stunned up, running by Storm Spirit, goes in. Woe is dead, he's gonna buy back in here. He does have it. They will be able to get Jeezy onto the backside. Shad's very low as well. Somehow not a target. Storm Spirit doesn't really seem to want to go on top of him.
He's dying.
They will be able to go take him down. They get the Dragonite as well. And they're kind of just, yeah, there's the Aegis. They're going to get Shad the once. And they should be able to get him a second time as well. Does he have the BKB? There's the stun on top of Pangolier. So now Shad just has to turn and get as much damage as possible. Difference, though, it's going to be totally fine. I'm not going to say Shades of game number 1 because this was a much worse situation, but kind of look at the fight recap there. 6,000 gold going into the coffers of Kalmychata, as realistically, Team Public, they just dive way too deep.
Yeah, certainly. It was not even remotely worth it for a minute there, as you did get differences buyback, but you gave him back tenfold what he took in that buyback. Gets a ton of galvanized stacks for himself, finished up that Parasma. No need to worry about saving for buyback now, and it's gold across the board for Kalmychata, not putting them in any kind of winning position, but giving them the kind of position where they could start to stage a comeback for themselves. And not necessarily something I think is likely, but if you overstep on Team Public, we've seen that they are vulnerable. Now on the side of Honku as well, that fight really, I mean, that was so pivotal as well. He called out the Basher. Well, the Aegis was timing, so the extra 2 or 3 seconds that Shad was spawning, he thought he could just BKB TP out, but that Basher arriving at the perfect time for Onku meant that they actually got that significant kill as well.
And we should point out as well, not me really reaping the benefit of all those track kills. And on top of that, he's got a greedy enchantment on this Whisper of the Dread. He is less than 5 right, where he's like 600 gold. As if he wants to buy out, it's a little bit more if he decides to go and save for buyback.
Yeah.
But he's very, very close to this Axe.
They pop all of their spells here, as Dark Ascension maybe slightly early, but they do get Rare Gods off the back of it. Not able actually to cancel the TP from Not Me, so thankfully he should eventually get into this Ags. There's a Tormentor if they want it, or Tormentor is not. Actually, it's not quite up. They took it a little bit earlier, so no objective for the time being.
Oh, Pangolier though.
Refresher.
He's in trouble. Crippling Fear not quite gonna last long enough. There's the roll up into the Rolling Thunder, TPing on out of here, and Bash is back. Ooh.
He would have been able to kill him on Mengekyu. I guess he just did not expect him coming back. That was a very close, very, very close. Mengekyu, that right click might have killed. Probably, in fact, I think it would have. So, a little bit of a slip up. Could have been an extra pick off for them, and that is committing the Refresher. That is committing the Dark Ascension. If Kalmychata wanted to smoke up, I think this could be an okay time, but I still think they're probably weaker, so they're just going to be a little bit reserved. Ooh, difference! Woo. He is real. He has stepped up, but without buyback, playing like that was terrifying, especially with how fast Xantic has been on these Blink Dragon Tails. And now he's going in!
Speaking of trying to get on top of it, Xantic here. Silence on top of this Ursa, but he gets in range off a little early, so the status resistance is there. We're going to find Jeezy on the backside. Nimbus will go down, and that's going to buy the space. Man, if they get a single bash there on this Dragonite during the BKB, I think he dies. That could have almost been so big for the side of Kalmychata.
But still big in a number of ways. I mean, they've committed a lot of cooldowns to just live here as Xantic keep off the Dragon form and the BKB not going to be available as they do smoke up onto Kalmychata. Unfortunately, this smoke not likely to catch anything. I think T-Public, they're playing a little bit more patient, a little bit more
Radiant's
reserved
middle
after that
tower is
high
under
ground
attack.
loss that they suffered. And they certainly have to. Again, 9k lead, it's still significant. It is a lot to face up to for Kalmychata, but for the time being, 39 minutes into the game, that 9k net worth means so much less than that 15k or so that was built up just before that 30-minute mark. Now this is becoming manageable. This is a very reachable amount of net worth to get towards, and it's going to be a nullifier soon as well for Woe. Potentially able to actually stop some of the utility, especially coming out from Jeezy. Not making them the same mistake as they did last game, as even difference on the Storm Spirit has queued up a nullifier. They want to kill this Ringmaster, Bayo, and truthfully, I agree. I think looking at both these games, Jeezy has been an extremely quiet but important force to keeping these fights going for the side of Team Public. If you can just burst that Ringmaster at the start, you might be able to actually play these out. So smoke up will come from Team Public. They know the Roshan, it can enter the spawn. If it's max, or if it's the earliest spawn, could be looking for it on the side of Kalmychata. Not brave enough, of course, to ever start something like that. So they'll look towards Not Me. Finish that Ags. This is a nice kill.
Yep, they're
It's a
going to have
little
to
bit
get
early.
on top of him. Nice Nimbus. And nullify means no defensive items. Keep him safe. Oh, what an ice
good ice
path.
path.
Trying to buy a
Has
little
the
bit
Ghost
more
Scepter.
space. Pops the Ghost Scepter. Not going to matter. So he's dead, and he did buy out for that Ag. So it's 50 seconds when he's not going to be available. Roche spawns in 25.
Yeah, a little bit lucky, I think, for Team Public. They make this move, and it does pay off to kill the Jakiro. They'll see that the Roshan, assuming they're in space for it, they'll see that it is spawning relatively early for them. They'll have it in this dragon form. Will be nighttime as well for them. So they'll be able to walk towards it if they want, but actually doesn't look like they'll be able to, by any means, kill it during the time that Otmi is here. And even difference, he popped an amplified damage. If he checks his top rune,
Oh, Whoa gets on
He'll
top
get a shield
of
rune.
Mangekyo. Immediately tries to yes, very nice kill to chain him down. Oh,
good
look,
job.
on top of the Storm Spirit, no buyback. He gets taken down. Ursa as well, and he bought out for this nullifier. He doesn't have a buyback either. It was good. Taking down this Night Stalker feels so intensely valuable. But if you lose your two big cores with no buyback, I mean, they're pinging tier 4s. They know
they
the
should be.
situation. They know Storm Spirit has no buyback.
yeah, they should be pinging it for sure. Xantic, he's created so many opportunities. Just this Blink Dragon's Tail, so powerful. I mean, really, really nicely done to get on to the side of Kalmychata these cores. Looks like they're so far, they recognize it's actually a little bit difficult to push into these full tier 4s with the side of Not Me. No way to punish them without Mangekyo around. So they're only going to take the barracks here, likely to go back in retreat towards this Roshan. But for the time being, they're getting still quite a lot out of this. They could even push for Megas if they wanted to, and I guess the timing is a little bit awkward. So for the moment, they're not actually looking at it, but they're still going to go. I think this is
you say
definitely the
that.
correct choice. They have 50 extra seconds, and the damage is kind of nothing from the side of these three heroes. They need the Macropire. They drop
They're
it.
gonna, on top of that's a lot of
I
damage
mean, that-
on top of Shad. Unfortunately, though, Anku,
Triangular damage.
yeah, Anku did lose his courier though, so he lost the recipe for the disperser. That's a little unfortunate, but I mean, even still, Macropire now it's done, and this is a big creep wave. They're like 10 range creeps here pushing in. Never mind. No, they're not.
0 range troops, especially in.
Pangolier.
As the old nursery rhyme goes, is they'll back up towards the Roshan. No reason not to.
Tower is under attack.
Mind you, Puppy is so farmed on this use. He finished up a Kaya for himself. It's a funny little item for him to get in. Being a little bit apprehensive on the side of Team Public as they finish up that AC for Xantic, but no reason to feel squeamish. This Roshan cannot be contested by Kalmychata for any intent or purpose here. They're just going to have to focus on getting this high ground defense difference. He won't have that buyback available. It's not because he doesn't have it anymore. He's gone that 8 minutes since he previously bought back for that high ground fight. It's going to buy out a nullifier. A very feast or famine move from Difference, a very feast or famine player as he's looking to get that 25. If they can get nullifier 25 on Difference, if they can keep him alive, all by the, mind you, some very, very difficult tasks. If they can manage to do all of those in succession, then this Storm Spirit is incredibly strong. Even Woe, this game just been found out by very, very small margins here. getting hit by random things on this Ursa, leading to his death. But they see Mangekyu.
Oh no! He's got the gem as well as they get on top and they blow him up.
They get GC.
Backside getting on top of the save as well. So Ringmaster dead, and now they're going to try to find
And
it.
two.
Very separated. He's going to get stunned up. 3 dead.
Team Public.
Onto the side of Team Public. And by the way, again, that was not just 3 big kills. There's the 3 big track kills. And this Night Stalker, he was passed over the gem right before that fight got started.
Yeah, I mean, they actually didn't pick up the gem, thankfully. So it looks like a courier might get that
No,
one.
it's still on the ground, yeah.
Yeah, it's still on the ground. So maybe didn't get that, but still, I mean, an incredibly bad sequence of events. As somebody might need to remind or tell Mangekyu, Team Public does not mean that you need to always be out in the open. Just gets caught there, but I mean, really a nice punish by Kalmychata. They recognize their timings, and their timings are killing Mangekyu. He's doing so much in these fights, just the vision alone. So every time they kill that Night Stalker, the fights have just fallen completely apart.
You know, I love this move as well with a friendly shadow from Rare Gods. I think
He's
he
used
got
it
it.
a lot.
Yeah, I think he got it from the Tormentor. So they just move across the map, 3 heroes invis. Didn't find anyone, but now they have a very nice deep ward into the tower. And I mean, they're baiting it out here. They know Zeus wants to go find it. And Difference very... Oh, Ice Path's going to go down. Now they know the vision's there. Getting on top.
Jump from chat. No.
He's just dead. Evaporating here on the Daedalus, and now Bounty Hunter has to get out of here as well. That was 100-0 in like 1 volley.
Yeah, I mean, this Marcy hero is ridiculous. There's a reason Team Public have been first picking it. There's a reason that the whole competitive scene has been valuing this hero on that first phase pick. Chad has really done some wonderful stuff this game, and for WoW, it is a very good Ursa game, but it's kind of a finicky Ursa game, as you mentioned. I mean, even if you have that Ags, there's not a guarantee that you'll ever get it off, so he hasn't gone for it at all. I can't disagree with his itemization, but basically the way this itemization works is that sometimes you just get gone on, and if you don't instantly react, you will go down. It's Difference. Oof. He's buying some time. Very interesting, by the way, on Difference. He's gone the 450 distance auto remnant and ball lightning. I haven't seen him very long, but really good for holding a high ground. On to Shad.
On top of Shad, trying to take this Aegis away from him, but the box is there. We're not nullifying it. We do have the item, but not clicking it just yet. And now Shad getting so very low. Aegis down. But Ursa, he has bought back into this. That was his buyback. Stun on a Difference. It's too far away. No one else can properly join. And now Woe blinks it. He's got to be so careful with this
Watch
buyback.
out for Shad.
Yeah, be very careful of Shad. They move on top of it, dancing a little bit more. Macropyre goes down, takes about half his damage, and they're really looking for the chase. The box goes down. Ags is done on GC. Now moving straight on top of this Dragon Knight. He's dead. Jakira backside. Shad finds him, but he's going to buy back into this as well. We're going to be able to get Shad the second time. Ursa loves fighting him at this point. He goes down, and Zeus got to be very careful. But Storm Spirit, he did die. Bash. We get the bash. And now Mangekyu, there's nothing he can do. When he's separated like this one, he falls down here as well. Zeus gets out. GZ gets out. They kill off this Storm Spirit, but this buyback, actually 2 buybacks on top of Woe and the Jakiro, they hold their high ground. They get some massive kills into this Aegis timing from Team Public.
Yeah, I mean, holding on to the game. Still not granted a great position for Kalmychata. Time and time again, they get these wins. Never enough to propel them into being in some sort of winning position, as these buybacks, they're going to really hurt once the side of Team Public is up. I mean, for Woe, it's been nearly impossible to stay alive in these fights if he's not the one jumping. So it could be really scary once the whole team from Team Public is up. But in terms of keeping themselves in the game, Kalmychata, they've done a great job. That buyback absolutely necessary from Woe, and despite Difference, dying there, still managed to create enough space where they're going to try and force some of the buybacks. I don't think they'll be able to by any means. There's no reason to pop them here from Team Public, but get a little bit of real estate, pick up a little bit extra, and Rare Gods, he somehow managed off all these track kills. I mean, now he's gotten to level 20, Bayo, mind you, which is an incredible talent. The track grants shared vision. But he's also bought an Assault Cuirass for the Bounty Hunter. So on top of all these items coming out for the cores, refresher soon for the side of Anku, Ags is what Woe was looking at. And AC on top of Rare Gods, which, I mean, honestly could make a small difference here, as it's been Shad in a lot of these fights. It's been Xantic in a lot of these fights, finding very small openings to perfectly get those kills. could be
He's
the
going to-
difference maker.
Yeah, it's going into Vlad's as well. More armor for the team, and importantly, just with the amount of damage that Ursa does, giving Ursa a little bit of lifesteal to sustain through these fights is just, it's very impactful. It makes Ursa's life so much easier. So at one point he did have a Hex queued up, which I liked, you know, being able to get these pickoffs, but just considering how kind of front to back these fights are going, giving that little bit of extra armor for the team, the attack speed for the Ursa as well, especially when he's like silenced up and nullified half the time, so Overpower's not doing as much for him. It's okay, that exploded.
Yeah, only takes a quick second, but yeah. Truthfully, I honestly don't know if I fully believe in the assault cuirass, but it's a big item for him to pick up regardless, as it can provide definitely some big value that they might need. Smoke up from the side of Team Public. They do have such a significant vision advantage in every fight, though. That's what's been making it hard. Whoa, he always wants to get this jump, but getting this jump into a team with Night Stalker, Zeus, it's an Octarine on Puppy as well. Well, they're gonna go straight in. Onku.
Fine difference. We're fine. This Pangolier immediately. He's dead. Does have buyback, and now Hero does not have it, though. And they're gonna find him. No macro fire going up, and Woe gets jumped on top by Shad, but Shad getting bashed up a little bit. Yes, we're gonna be able to take him down. And now Storm Spirit would love to find a little bit more. It's a buyback as Rare Gods will fall as well. That's a dead Shad, which means this high ground push not super impressive. Although it's only one Rax. It's only one Rax, though, between Kalmychata and Megas. So even as this happens, it's still an expensive hold.
Yeah, very much so, as Onku. And every time they lose these buybacks, they're so far shuffling them pretty decently. As soon they'll have it where Difference has buyback. Thankfully, I've just been able to get it onto specific timers where essentially somebody usually is holding onto that buyback on the cores for Kalmychata. So they're holding on to the game, but it is a very, very thin thread there. Truthfully, if Shad didn't end up in the position he did, that could have just been the game. So maybe a little bit deep from him, but also good punish from the side of Kalmychata. So holding on, didn't get to use that refresher for the side of Onku, which, again, that is one thing that slightly hurts, is that if he does die, he'll have no access to any of these full items he's bought. Hasn't been able to buy anything that can really help him too much against the Night Stalker. The Disperser, it's an attempt, but doesn't help particularly if that Nullifier comes out. So still very dominant on the side of the map, still very dominant when these fights come out, but pushing this game to 51 minutes on Kalmychata means they're doing something right.
Yep, and Storm Spirit does have the shard done as well. It really makes you wish, and I think I understand why he went for this, the ball distance auto cast, or the ball lightning auto cast. You're playing in, like, you're likely gonna get Mega this game, right? Just being able to make sure that you have this blaze clear, kind of relatively non-committal, it's pretty important. But with the shard, being able to get overload attack bounces for your entire team is. Already, it's really nice with Ursa, but again, with the level 25 talent, would be even better.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Difference probably did make the correct choice at the point he was in the game, but probably would feel a lot better to have that overload attack bounce, to be honest, right now. But he'll make do with it. Both of these level 25 talents are just completely broken for Storm. I mean, if Difference could, push the game another 10 plus minutes and get to level 30, he would love to do something like that, but for the time being, whoa, he has no buyback. It's only 1 minute and 30, so he won't have gold, presumably, when he does take it into that timer, but he finished up the Ag's Blessing for himself. So now, the life of the Ursa just a tiny bit easier. If you're not silenced, you can get off that enrage, or if you're BKB'd and you somehow get bashed up, you can still live. But getting those off before getting silenced, before getting hit, it hasn't been easy for Woe. So this Ag's, it's a very tight timing, but it just makes Team Public's job of executing a little bit more difficult. And that's all that Kalmychata has had to do this game. To make executing just a little bit more difficult, and eventually they've been able to find these kind of crumbs off the back of the fights. Been able to claw their way back into the game. 14k at 52 minutes. Again, not very much, as honestly, that net worth lead is just about Puppy. He is so farmed on the Zeus, ridiculously farmed, at level 25. I'm honestly, a little bit, I think it's a little bit abhorrent to call it a support Zeus, as he's basically the same net worth as all the cores in the game. It is a ridiculous performance from this Puppy Zeus. And I mean, he's most of the net worth lead, which I don't think you mind as he's providing so much value in this game, but still feels like it's not, 14k is only so much at 53 minutes in the game. It's something that Kalmychata can fight up against, and they have. No buyback, though, for Woe is the scary thing here. Aegis onto the side of Adzantic. So opting to give the Aegis to a little bit of a different target. Shad probably not willing to kind of give up any of his items. Adzantic been super impactful this game, and probably they want him to be able to siege that last set of barracks here with this Aegis in tow. If they can get the Megas, it'll make their job a lot easier. So far, not getting that has punished them pretty significantly.
Yeah, I do like this Tormentor move as well. This is very much a game where Kalmychata is expecting the push coming in from the top side because the melee racks, all that remains between them and Megas. So instead, they go bottom side, trying to see if they can catch someone off to the side, farming, because that's likely not where Public's going to be, or where Kalmychata's, where Public's going to be, but Kalmychata playing safe, just in their base, getting multiple wave shoves going in. Now Storm Spirit, he's going to TP out. So he's going to be fine, but you can only do that every 75 seconds. So it's not that, not that free as what away Pangolier actually rolling thunder on top of Mangekyu. You have the bashes, yes.
Oh no.
That's going to be a dead Night Stalker. Storm looking for a little bit more. Gets on top of Shad. Backs out for now. Very lacking in the mana department. But even still, Night Stalker dead for 90. He's got the refresher. He's got the cheese. That buys a decent amount of time into the Aegis.
Yeah, and it'll be daytime as well. Granted, the Dark Ascension is on a pretty low cooldown here, but still being into the daytime, it's going to be rather annoying for Team Public to actually get this Aegis to utilize. Getting onto that top side to get towards the barracks has proven difficult for them. And every time the Night King Q dies, it sets them back a lot. They're trying to find it. Whoa, but that blink out. Really, really nicely done. And Rare Gods, I mean, that's just the price you pay for the Zeus Refresher, for being up that far. Whoa, getting out there. It's just a fraction of a second before that blink got canceled. Still, I mean, it forces Team Public, even though they get the Bounty Hunter kill, doesn't really mean that much for them. So they're going to have to go ahead and TP back to base on just about half the roster. Puppy and Adzantic walking out together. This game is in such a dicier position than they would have ever wanted it to. The game one felt like it could have reached that point, Bayo, but unfortunately for Kalmychata, they weren't able to push it to that. But now it's 56 minutes. They've created the chaos they needed in this game, and it's become really hard to match up into for the side of Team Public. Smoke up again, no Mangekyu to speak of. I want to ideally catch someone off guard. A shield rune as well for Shad. Could help.
Oh, not me would be a fantastic. Oh, no, wait, they're going to find Pangolier. Maybe there's going to be done. He's got no buyback.
No buy.
Not
it isn't
for
a
another
minute.
Do you just
they
give
can
the
try.
melee racks here?
I don't think that Not Me wants to, and I think he is the player who should be walking up, but over time, I think that Adzantic is going to be able to kind of pressure this one. Mangekyu's finally back. Dark Ascension again, not on a significant cooldown, so he's willing to pop it. They can just get this they can get this melee barracks. Something they'll be very happy to do, and they will get it.
Yeah, there's just really too hard to defend. So Megas are down. 90 seconds, 30 seconds until Pangolier's up. He does have buyback.
Kind of alone.
On top of it, Adzantic does have that Aegis for another 60 seconds. Though look at it! Oh my God, Mangekyu on the back line here, but he's gonna get clicked down, popped and cheese. It's gonna be okay for now, and now Ursa getting chain controlled a little bit, but he's getting a friendly shadowed. Backing out for now, but still gets on top of him. He's gonna be able to overpower away. That is a buyback from this Jakiro as Adzantic now starting to hit the tier 4s for 40 seconds left on this Aegis. Refresher on Shep. They're going to get on top of Adzantic once again. A little bit more damage. Burning down the Aegis. That's step one.
Anku, he's back.
Yeah, he is back. Going to try to TP into this maybe. Gets on top of Adzantic for a second time. Looking for the bash. Macropyre as well doing pure damage onto Adzantic. He dies for the second time. Can we find more? Difference. Not quite finding his targets just yet. Not enough mana to go find Jeezy at the end. So again, they force him back. This 14,000 net worth lead is kind of just where we're sitting. The Megas are down. Buyback on the Pangolier. Buyback on the Jakiro. Those are key resources.
Yeah, it does suck. Again, I mean, this whole game for Kalmychata has sucked, but they're still holding on to it. A little bit of just a thread. these megas will certainly hurt a lot, as you know, megas 58 minutes in the game nearly not as impactful as they were looking to get them. So won't be quite as bad for Kalmychata, but megas are always incredibly strong, as keeping those waves constantly pushed in the base. A lot of times you just have to commit a singular hero to be that hero in the base. Sometimes you need to get those travels 2 out to actually be able to join fights, but nobody really has the money for travels 2 on Kalmychata, so it's likely to be difference kind of on wave killing duty. A very good hero to do it, mind you, but you have to use a lot of resources, so joining those fights. So nice pickup for Team Public. It's gonna make the game a lot simpler in terms of what they can actually do. It's gonna make the map a lot easier to just wait around, as we're taking here Bayo. Not at the situation Team Public wanted to be in, but they're soon gonna be in a game with 60-minute items and X Roshan spawning up as well. Those 60-minute items, they have the potential to change a pretty huge dynamic. I mean, Helm of Undyings for anybody can be very significant. Sometimes they can be very meaningless as well, depending
Dire's
on the
middle
lockdown
tower
you
is
find.
under attack.
There are so many of these good tier 5s. The Book of the Dead, of course, one of those very potent ones. Pangolier reaching something like a Fallen Sky could help Anku just get that extra bit of range he needs. A lot of big ones here. Even Divine Regalia could be something on one of these cores. Get that extra damage necessary, as well, in this type of game, I don't think he would mind getting that extra little bit of damage. He's been such a thorn in Mangeku's side, as Mangeku, he's died a number of times here in ways that he probably shouldn't have. That last fight, the Cheese saving him for as long as he could, but now it's 60 minutes and now it is nighttime.
Radiant
Tough thing
scanning.
for the side of Kalmychata is that actually getting these neutral items is not particularly easy. It's thankfully differences on this bot side, and they've not managed to scout him. Rare Gods is even in their jungle as well, so they're going to get some of these neutral tokens, which is very, very key. Don't want to lose that war out against Team Public, who currently actually aren't putting any focus onto the side of these neutral items. They haven't killed any camps yet. They know that they might be split on Kalmychata.
Pop the Dark Ascension, that forces Woe back, but Storm Spirit does have his 60-minute item.
Xantic's drawing. He has the perfect call on Xantic. He knows exactly where Rare Gods is going to be. Is trying to get that neutral item here, and Rare Gods is getting spotted by Mangeku. That is the refresher out, and there is a gem on the side of Mangeku. So eventually Rare Gods, he should fall down for his transgressions, but all things considered, he forces a pretty significant number of spells. He gets a decent number of neutral tokens for himself and his team. Not the worst for Rare Gods. I think he'll certainly accept his fate on that end. But it's another kill onto the Bounty Hunter. Might be forced to buy back again, Kalmychata. But I'm not even sure if it will. There's another 2 minutes on Roshan. A little bit fortunate for Kalmychata, as they want to buy every second they can, Beowulf. This game is about delaying for Kalmychata. It has been for a very long time, and they've been doing that. But I mean, particularly, I'm, as a mid player myself, I'm looking at difference, and I'm saying if he can get to level 30, it is a ridiculous amount of damage he can pump out. One of the best level 30s in the game, maybe arguably the best level 30 in the game. And going to be looking towards something like an Ag, something like a Refresher soon for difference as well, to keep him alive. But for the time being, still they're stalking Woe.
Timeless Book. We're
trying
going to
to
try to force the buyback here. Getting on top of Will. Macropyre goes down. He bombed the Octarine. Does have buyback available. He's going to be forced to spend it right now. Shatter gets on top of this Jakiro. No buyback for him.
Hitting.
Whoa. Doesn't
There's
have
no
boost.
for
He's
it.
going to try to hit on top of the Ancient, trying to take it down. They just
Could be
can't
over.
take down this Night Stalker. They get him at the very end.
Xantic's
Now on
hitting.
top of Shad as well.
It's
They're going to
done.
burn him down. Zeus trying to do what he can, and they will be able to get the Aegis. The Ancient at the very, very end. No fortification available, and they just beeline straight on top of it. The call there, the cojones there to make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, Mangeku inside the throne, position where he's a lot less likely to die to the Ursa. So Team Public, a little bit of absolute cinema, of course, making everybody in the chat have a heart attack. I know Neff at home is probably having a little bit one of watching a broadcast here. So, I mean, Team Public, they get it across the victory line, Bayo, which means they are going to force these tiebreakers. Kalmychata and Team Public now tied. Of course, plenty of games going on, of course, around to see if we'll get even more tiebreakers from the side of DreamLeague Division 2. But it was dicey by Team Public. They managed to bring it out against Kalmychata, but now heading into a set of tiebreakers, I mean, Team Public, they have a few kinks to iron out, but overall, still some very solid and very impressive play that we haven't seen quite yet from them in a full 3-game series.
Yep, if you're paying attention to other potential tiebreakers, Perino Penzon, they're out. They lost, so they're not going to be able to force some interesting plays with 4 Pirates. But Team T and E-Spoiled, they're at 1-1. They're going into game number 3. In fact, that might have already started. I'm not totally sure. There's no draft on Wikipedia, but if E-Spoiled win, that's going to be another, it's 4-3, 4-3. Kalmychata is now at 2-5, as is Team Public. So there's kind of this, we got a world where there are going to be a lot of tiebreakers coming up in the near future. For now, though, Rojo, I believe that's likely the end of you and I covering games here today. I got to say, though, Team Public looking, even with that, how difficult it was to close out this game number 2, they're looking a lot better than I've seen them earlier this week.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it truly, but Xantic, he played super well in these games. I think in that game 2 as Dragonite, he facilitated so much of that victory. In the game 1 as Quap, he really took them across the finish line. GZ on the Ringmaster, I think, looked really beautiful. So for Team Public, I mean, obviously, I guess I shouldn't, if I'm gonna, be talking about everybody, I should talk about the Puppy Zeus in game 2, as he really did some crazy stuff for the team there. But yeah, Team Public looking good. Obviously, a few things to iron out. Kalmychata, maybe not the strongest team in this DreamLeague Division 2, so they do have to be a little bit careful about taking those wins too much in stride, as there was a lot of issues coming out throughout those games. But they managed to take it across the finish line. Of course, you guys are going to have to see who takes it across the finish line in Team T versus the Spoiled. That's going to be on ESL Dota 2 Ember. Make sure to follow us across all of our channels. And of course, we are done here today. So thank you guys for joining us, and go watch all the incredible Dota and all the incredible tiebreakers that are here to come.
What you need is love and understanding. Find a heart whose love is true. Deep down, there's only one companion who's there for you when you need him to be. Your heart was broken in 1,000 pieces. So much pain that you've been through. Here stands a man who's your salvation. Just ask yourself, am I ready for you? 100% now. I'm ready. 100% now. Yes, I'm ready. Eyes wide open. I'm ready to move. 100% now. Take a chance in a new direction. Any place you wanna go. I don't have all the right answers, but one thing I know, I'm so ready for you. 100% now. I'm ready. 100%. You know I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready. Eyes wide open. I'm ready to move. Well,
when you know you got a good thing that makes me feel fine. Ooh, wherever it leads me, you know it's all fine. I never thought that this could sweep me off the ground. Oh, I don't want it to stop when it's feeling this good. Whenever you're around, my heart begins to pound. Though I know you'll take it slow, no way to stop this feeling. For every single day, whenever you're away, in this place there's a space where I'll be waiting for you. And I just can't believe in this new love I have found. Yeah, I don't want it to stop when you know you got a good thing that makes me feel fine. Ooh, wherever it leads me, you know it's all fine. I never thought that this could sweep me off the ground. I don't want it to stop. No, I don't want it to stop. I don't want it to stop when it's feeling this good. Feeling this good. Feeling this good. Ooh, feeling this good.
Yeah, yeah. I've been waiting a long time, just longing for a glance from you. Yeah, a chance to look in those big brown eyes. No telling what my heart would do. Hey, when we met, I sure knew it felt as good as it could be. In that moment, though it felt so good, I wondered why you noticed me. If you gave me just a little time, it would sure ease my troubled mind. Don't tell me that you don't feel the same inside. Don't tell me. These are feelings that I ought to hide. I don't care where you came from, just tell me where you wanna go. If there's a chance to be together, that's all I really need to know. Is it real or make believe that keeps me thinking of you? If you've got time to walk with me, I'll show you how my heart is true.
been waiting a long time, just longing for a glance from you. Yeah, a chance to look in those big brown eyes. No telling what my heart would do. Hey, when we met, I sure knew it felt as good as it could be. In that moment, though it felt so good, I wondered why you noticed me. If you gave me just a little time, it would sure ease my troubled mind. Don't tell me that you don't feel the same inside. Don't tell me. These are feelings that I ought to hide. I don't care where you came from, just tell me where you wanna go. If there's a chance to be together, that's all I really need to know. Is it real or make believe that keeps me thinking of you? If you've got time to walk with me, I'll show you how my heart is true. And here I stand waiting for you. Tell me, baby, what I gotta do. Don't tell me that you don't feel the same inside. Don't tell me. These are feelings that I ought to hide. Don't tell me that you don't feel the same inside. Don't tell me. These are feelings that I ought to hide.
Sometimes I'll be foolish. Sometimes I know I get mad. Sometimes I say the wrong thing to you that makes you feel sad. But one thing is true in all that we've been through. You've never stopped loving me, no matter what I do. So let me say, that every day I try to find the words from my heart to say thank you. 'Cause you take me as I am. You take me as I am. Oh, baby. If you stop loving me, well, I would understand. But I won't take you for granted, no, no. When you hold my hand, your love makes me feel that I could fly to the moon. Not even the birds of love can sing a sweeter tune. I needed to say that you find a way to make me feel anew. And I want to say thank you, 'cause you take me as I am. Oh, baby, take me as I am. Oh,
comes up. We do a dance in the dark. Down the hall, pictures fall. Even the neighbors call. But then you rip out my heart. Every artery, a part of me. Ooh. It's obvious to me that you love to watch me bleed. But not half as much as I love when you leave. I hate to see you go. But I love to watch when you're walking away from me. Walking away from me. Yeah, yeah. 'Cause I could be anything you want. I could be anything you need. Baby, tell me it's something real, and I'll give you everything. Every now and then wicked smile. You know I can't help myself. They play around with me for a while. Keep tearing me up until there's nothing left. Ooh, it's obvious to me. Yeah, you love to watch me bleed. But not half as much as I love when you leave. I hate to see you go. But I love to watch when you're walking away from me. Yeah, yeah. I love the way you love me. I love the way. I hate to see you go. You know I love to watch you leave. I hate to see you go. Cause I love to watch you leave. Oh, I hate to see you go. But I love to watch when you're walking away from me. But not half as much as I love when you leave. When you walk away from me.
I took a walk down Pico, heard someone shout from a crowd of fed up people getting